What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to Streamcast, a show on the internet. We watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services with you guys. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good.
You Hydra sympathizer, how are you?
Okay, I'll be upfront.
Yeah?
Hasn't been confirmed yet. Next show though.
Oh yeah, so you're looking forward to Loki. Maybe something will pop up there.
100% Hydra's the villain in Loki.
Do you know what?
I called it since WandaVision.
All the guys, they're on your side. Guacamole, he made that meme as well, where like a red circle and somehow tracking that back to Hydra somehow.
Right.
They're on your side. They're rooting for you. Just they're perpetually being let down by your
I
theory.
feel like it's more pity than rooting for you. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
At this point,
Go on.
The second Hydra comes into this thing, I'm just gonna gloat.
I hope it's like next year, and it's like a whole year has gone by, and I'm
it'll be
recording
in
since
cap for
WandaVision,
like 3
episode
years
1.
from now.
It will literally be
Call
in
it
cap
since
4.
WandaVision.
Anyway, we're finally joined
Yes.
by the Upside Down guy himself.
That's the voice that you're hearing right now, the illustrious voice that
right.
finally decided to make a fucking appearance.
Yes.
After many years
Yep.
of promising the fans that he's going to be on this
Yes.
on this show. How you doing?
I'm sorry.
Tyler?
Last week you guys were like, we're gonna put it out, but also maybe not, and then it
Hold on a
almost didn't
minute.
happen. So
Excuse me, can you first of all, can you do that in a British accent so it's authentic?
all right, then. That was you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Now
there
continue.
you go. That was more accurate, wasn't it?
All right, then.
I love how other people think the British accent sounds.
I think they just remove all the T's and put apostrophes. It's a bottle of water.
But there you go. Crikey. Anyway, thank you for joining us, bro. It's absolutely amazing to have you here for the final.
Yeah, of course. Even though it's 5 a.m, I'm sick as fuck. I'm wrapped in a blanket, wearing a hat. I know everyone's looking at this. They're like, "Oh, it's nighttime for Tyler." Obviously, it's like, "Oh no, it's not. The sun just hasn't come up yet."
Right.
Well, at least hopefully it's be better than that
it's
time
pitch black.
that you left your window open. It sounded like you was recording from the Amazon rainforest.
That was rough.
Oh, it's only because there's no fucking air. Like the electricity hadn't been working here, and I was using extension cord, and the fucking aircon wasn't working. It was so hot in here.
Sounds
so I
like
had
a
to have the window
shit-tier
open, and then it
excuse.
was storming at the same time. It's a mess. It's a mess, but we're good now. Don't need aircon because it's coming into winter. Not that it's cold or anything, but I've got a blanket wrapped around me because I'm sick, and that's why I sound like shit. So, but we're here because I love. It's not because I love Eddie and Sheps. I could give a fuck about those two, and I can't wait to not have to get a fucking new podcast anymore. But Captain America, and the Winter Soldier, this amazing show.
That's
I
right.
had to be here to talk about the ending. I almost thought, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be well enough. I was gonna record like clips for you to put in the episode.
I'm gonna be straight
do a few
up.
pranks for you guys.
I was like, if you didn't make it, someone needs to probably call an ambulance.
Because this would be serious,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like he missed this episode,
Right.
This one.
I couldn't.
Yeah, especially because this
I
show's
couldn't.
been so good. I'm gonna say it. I
Go
would
on.
put this up there with it's up there with the Avengers movies. It's up there with Winter Soldier. It's up there with Civil War. Yeah. I thought this show was that
Wow.
I'm giving him.
You loved it that much?
Yeah, I
As
really
in the
did.
whole show or this episode?
good. The show as a whole, especially the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show as a
Yeah.
whole.
Go on, Tyler. You give your
Yeah.
thoughts, sort of like on the top impressions of the whole show and stuff like that.
I mean, as a whole show,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It did absolutely everything I hoped it would do with like our main characters, Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
Those are, they're my boys. Why I was so hyped for the show was to follow these two characters again and see their development to the next stage. See Bucky and a bit of his redemption and healing. We saw that. I've never loved these two characters. They're my, two favorite characters other than Steve Rogers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Those two are already there. But I've never loved them as much as I do now, This show really gave us so much out of these two characters and their relationship together. I just love them. I just fucking love them. I want more and more and more, and I'm so happy that we're very likely, gonna see plenty more from these two, but in a movie form, which they both deserve.
Yeah.
To continue to get that spotlight, and in Avengers movies, crossover movies, and in Captain America movies, hopefully not just a Captain America 4, but hopefully another trilogy. Over the next 10 years, which would be fantastic. It's all I hope for, and just to hear the announcement on the day that's like, yeah, that's what they're planning. This was always to lead to a movie, and I'm like, that's what Anthony Mackie deserves. Captain America movie, not just some TV show follow up, and that would have bothered me, but that's amazing. Now here's the thing. This episode was probably the worst episode, in my opinion, in terms of editing, in terms of structure.
I see what you mean.
And in terms of some writing.
Because,
and don't get me twisted, like the Sam stuff, perfect.
Yep.
I thought everything they did with Sam was perfect. I loved his writing. I even loved his speech a lot at the end of the episode. It dragged a bit.
It
was a bit like
it went too long in it.
A hair too long. Everything he said needed to be said, so I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. But it dragged the tiniest bit. But other than that, there was a lot of. I felt like there were some editing issues.
There were some.
In terms of pacing this episode. I'm not sure if that was because they were like. This show did get disrupted because of the pandemic. Yeah. And they maybe missed some shots that they needed to film. I don't know.
I'm going to say as
but
well.
It felt the same way WandaVision felt in the last episode, where I'm like, I feel like there was some rushed things in this.
Yeah, I feel like both shows wanted an extra episode and never got it.
Yeah, or at least
either an extra episode. Or
Hour
they need an extended bit, or they just missed shots in filming because they couldn't go back and film as easily because of the pandemic. I'm not sure. Like, these two shows may have suffered their endings because of the pandemic, and I felt like the Carly stuff didn't pay off as much as I wanted it to.
There.
The Power Broker Sharon Carter stuff is my least favorite thing of the whole season, to be honest.
The what? Sorry.
And the Sharon Carter Power Broker stuff.
You mean the hashtag Eddie was right with his theory from episode 2?
That's
so strange.
And here's the thing. I want to make this very clear, I need everyone to understand. And Eddie, Sheps, I need you both to really understand that I mean when I say this is that the fact that Eddie was right shows how stupid of a story point it was, because Eddie's an idiot. I want to make that as clear as crystal in this episode.
The jealousy, I could feel
it. That's why I don't like it. And the reason I was like, there's no way that's what they go with, because it would be dumb. It was so obvious and so brain dead that's the fact that would happen would be dumb.
And
the fact that that's what happened, I was
stuff?
like, well, this is stupid because it's so obvious and actually not even like intelligent of a decision to make, because Sharon Carter's so not that character. And I could try to explain to myself in my head of how much it would work, but the fact that she's so still invested in destroying the American government even after the pardon and the Sam and Bucky, like, I'm just like, oh, it's brain dead, but that's fine. Hashtag Eddie was right. And you were right, Eddie.
I was
You're
right.
I want to make that clear. Eddie was right.
No, it's not okay.
Eddie was right. 100%. I love it. Eddie was right.
Did you watch any of the
brain
WandaVision
dead.
episodes?
It was a brain dead choice.
Did you watch any? Shut the fuck up! Shut!
Tyler won't stop.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Did you watch the WandaVision stuff? Am I muted? I might be muted.
No, you're cool.
Okay, cool. Because you can never tell with this.
Yeah, and in terms of the other stuff, I feel like
this fucking cunt. He is. This guy.
I'm still going. Hey, you asked my thoughts on the episode. I'm giving you my overalls.
You come out with the dumbest fucking shit.
The other little nitpick is some of the fight scene I didn't like.
I started something here with 3 words. Eddie was right.
You did it all through WandaVision as well. You just throw shit at the wall early on, and somehow every single piece of that shit sticks.
It's like, oh look, the floor's clean. All right, well there we go.
Yeah, all of it.
Isn't it weird?
It's ridiculous.
Isn't that just weird to think about?
Do you know, guys,
Eddie,
I just tried to tell you guys, even in day-to-day life, I try to tell you, listen to Eddie. Your boy Eddie will guide you through this.
I've seen your life decisions. I've seen your life decisions for like 15 years, bruv.
Yeah.
You're full of shit.
I have no... Based on my track record, in real life, I have nothing against you doubting me throughout this whole time.
The weird thing is as well, you don't do this with movies. Like with movies, you're never like, oh, it's this.
Yeah,
you know?
It's true.
But for these shows, you've nailed it.
Yeah, it's been great.
What happens?
With the movies, you're always wrong. Like you say things like, "Oh, this DC movie coming out, it's gonna be good." Like,
I'm sorry,
so it's really.
Pardon me.
Excuse.
Really crazy that you've been right about.
As Batroc would say, "Excuse moi."
You mean Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard. Sorry, my apologies.
Before we get too far into this bullshit session, because we are just bros catching up. This show, along with all of our content, is brought to you by our amazing patrons over on patreon.com/conversations. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Comsock, Carol to Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master H Barts 12, the Midget Aloy from Smallville, Sabine, the former freeloader Christian, Master Chief himself, Albiscori, Super Sus Ben Fryer, who is a clone of Eddie, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Raj Vandlin, he's got a plan, guys, you just got to follow him on one last job, and the filthy FIFA fanatic Joe McCormack. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the streaming services going here at Streamcast.
That's right.
One announcement to make just before we get going, if you don't
like
mind.
the video.
Unless there's anything you wanted to say about the show or anything like that.
No.
Okay, there was one announcement to make. A ton of you guys have been contacting me and Sheps and on Discord and everything like that, talking about what we are going to do for Streamcast for the next 7 weeks until Loki comes out, which is like June 11th. There was a bit of a discussion. We were thinking, should we take a break? And breaks are cool sometimes, and maybe we will in the future.
What's a break?
Nothing. Really, we never take breaks. But not to say that we won't take breaks in the future. But we felt like 7 weeks was a bit too long, so we want to do something for you guys. It's not going to be a brand new show, but we wanted to do a preparation for The Witcher Season 2.
Yeah.
So we are going to watch Witcher Season 1 in preparation all over those 7 weeks with you guys every week. If you want to come back here, we could talk about Henry Cavill's gorgeous fucking muscles. So yeah, you can come in and watch that. That's what we're going to be doing for the next 7 weeks. And I know what you're saying, Eddie, there's 8 episodes and it's only 7 weeks. But don't worry, because the first episode is going to be a double feature. We're going to do the first 2 episodes to cover them, and then we'll be all caught up, and then
I love
we'll
how
be all
you
good.
slickly said, like, oh yeah, it's 8 it took us like 10 minutes to figure out how we were going to do that format.
It was like, okay, do we do 2 each day? Do we do
8 divided by 7? This doesn't work.
I can't work this out.
Is that line up where, like, by the time you finish The Witcher, then Loki's out? Is that how that's
Exactly, yes. So when we're done, it will immediately go into Loki, and everyone will be happy there.
And it should lead on The Witcher Season 2
Yeah,
should
cool.
be out.
Oh, thank God, I got 7 weeks at least off this show.
We're hoping that by
As
then
if
we'll
you're
get
invited
Thank
back.
you, Marvel.
Yeah, you're not invited. By then we'll hopefully get information about Witcher Season 2 as well. It's happening later this year, but we still haven't got any information about it. But also there'll be other shows, and we'll take it from there. So
That gives us
that's
like
the answer to all your questions.
2.5 months. It should be somewhere near there.
Exactly.
Here's a question for
Go
you,
ahead.
because it's technically, even though it's coming out in cinemas, but it's also being available at Disney Plus. Is Black Widow gonna feature on Streamcast?
This is a question because then there's a grey area, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I bet eventually everything's going to come to streaming services
Yeah.
in the future,
but
right?
it's more of just like it's being released initially
Yes.
on
Yeah.
a streaming service.
That's true.
That's how I see it. Rather than like, okay, I don't think it counts if it's just comes on streaming service later. You know what I mean?
Maybe we leave it up to the guys and we can discuss that, and maybe we can do like a special sort of 4 Pillars episode where a couple of you guys come on, not all of you guys.
Yeah.
maybe
Definitely not
4.
you.
Yeah, definitely not Tyler, but
Yeah.
maybe we do something like that for the big movies or something like that, and maybe we can do
Well-
something like that.
What I'm
Well, I
really
know
hearing-
that. I mean, me and James are still going to do spoiler casts. Like, I know Cinema Rooms, have cancelled that show, but we're
Excuse
still going
me?
to do spoiler casts for
Wow,
all the
wow,
major
so
Marvel
you're,
films.
you're just jumping on to the
but
coattails.
they're just going to be as always podcast specials.
This is our territory.
Like, as always
This is
podcast
us.
spoiler
You're
casts. No, it's actually not.
wandering
It's actually not.
into
It's my
our
territory because I
space.
own your show. So that's
I'm
actually.
sorry, what does it say right
yeah,
below
and-
us right here? I
It's a
think it's there.
Streamcast.
Streamcast,
It's right there.
right here.
That gives me a
Yeah,
headache.
yeah. Do you know what it says below that in the video? It says the 4 Pillars Network. Do you know who the 4 Pillars is? That's
Fuck the
my-
4
It
Pillars.
says
My
the flagship
We
show.
start with Carly and her movement setting up for their big plan. Jump right into it right there.
We've been going for like half an hour or
We have
something.
been chatting for a long time. It's been good though. I've had
Oh
good
yeah, let's
fun.
get in. Yeah, let's get into it.
Setting up their big plan at the GRC building, and the GRC building is on lockdown from last
do
episode
be.
where there was a big old hack. Sam and Bucky are on site, also with Sharon, but you don't see Sam at all. All you hear is him over the radio saying he's on his way, and then a blue jet in the sky. Oh my God. Wait a minute, he's
What
flying?
could that possibly be?
He lost his wings. He can't fly anymore. What's going on? But then Inside the GRC building, I'm put properly into character here. In the GRC building, one of the flag smashers gets on his mask. He starts throwing gas to try and force the GRC voter politicians out of the room. And as the people are escaping, he sort of like shepherds them one way. But there's some big windows behind him, and out of the windows, shoom, shield, and then rolling in with the massive wings, Sam with his glorious new suit. Oh boy, does he look sexy.
Formal apology.
Go ahead.
I said that the suit with the shield would look silly. I was totally wrong.
Totally wrong.
I was totally wrong. And if
in the wings with the shield, you mean?
That's it, yeah. Like all of it looks silly, and how would he fight with the wings, which we see later on?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that good?
Yeah.
So I was wrong. It's a good thing there's a lot of white on that suit because I would have covered it otherwise.
Yeah.
It'd have
been Randy Marsh.
There you go.
He looks incredible.
Absolutely just covered.
It's really strange though.
It was,
You're never usually wrong.
And the music and the sort of redo of the Captain America theme they did when he entered in as well.
So
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It was so good.
Was really cool.
It was really cool. Really cool.
Really cool.
How does it feel getting your man in the suit now, Tyler?
It is special. It feels right. Like it's almost surreal. Like I almost still don't even believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause seeing it, I'm like, this is everything I've been waiting for since Endgame, right? Like, when Steve passed on the shield to Sam, I was like, this is so perfect. And then, waiting for that moment to see Sam in the Captain America suit. And it was such a slow burn. The show did such a good job slow burning it and making us earn it. But not just showing us why he deserves it, but also him deciding whether he wanted it at all. Like, the whole development in this series has been second to none. There's the best part of the show was Sam's development.
Yeah.
Into not only proving that he is Captain America, but also deciding whether he even wants to be Captain America and what that means. And putting a new meaning to it, his own meaning to it, and it made this moment very, very special. And even him saying, when someone goes, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Captain America."
Yeah,
it's like, fuck oath, you are. Fuck oath, you are.
Yeah, and
also seeing the suit, being like, man, that's so comic book accurate.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm like, fuck yes, this is this is exactly how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, it was sick. And
I love that they're sticking to that, by the way. Great. A lot of the comic book movies now are very like, no, let's not change a lot. Maybe some tweaks here and there, but let's keep it comic book.
You're obviously referring to Vision's original comic book costume.
Exactly,
as we saw in WandaVision.
Yes, that's right.
I will say, I've been saying that Anthony Mackie was leading man material since Altered Carbon Season 2, where he saved the entire show and it was still shit. And I really felt like that might have shot his career down a bit.
Right.
But this show has proved that him and Sebastian Stan can completely carry a movie for sure. And at the end of this, it says, Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
That's right.
A lot of people are like, oh, it's a tease. It might be, but it's really just to say Sam is Captain America.
Yeah, that's the message.
Yeah.
But I will absolutely watch a trilogy with either one of them or both of them, ideally. 100%, I want that trilogy of movies. I want to go to cinema to watch Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
I think they have to be together now. They can't separate them. They've
got such good chemistry.
Yeah, they've created such a beautiful relationship together. Surely.
No, well, it's not even that. It's Bucky's in every Captain America movie. So you make Captain America movie, you don't need to call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Just Captain America with whatever subtitle, and obviously Bucky's in it.
Yeah.
Same with in potentially U.S. Agent. You know what I mean? At least in the next one.
Yeah.
And when you're going into a Captain America movie, is the same way you go into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You're like, oh, we're gonna see Sharon, we're gonna see these certain characters because this is the Captain America corner of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you go into your Iron Man movies, that the Peppers and the Happy and Rhodey's are gonna be there. So there's certain characters that come with that. So you don't need to call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. A Captain America 4, whatever it's subtitled, Bucky's in it. So you're gonna get Sam and Bucky. That's
Wings of Justice.
Wings of Winged Fury. I wanted to say something about this the Captain America suit reveal, the Falcon suit reveal. I wish the last 2 episodes were available immediately back to back, because the hype that I had leading up to the moment where he opens up his case when he gets I need to go now. I was like, oh my God, we're going to see it. And then we got let off. But that's cool. That's a cliffhanger. We do that all the time. But then because it happened so early in the episode, it was like I almost wasn't ready for it again.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And if it had happened there, it would have been like,
this episode pacing was not good.
Yeah.
This episode pacing was not good.
Yeah.
That's true. There are things that redeem the episode.
Yes.
Like, I just want to say Jean-Luc Picard says, I think in French, something along the lines of clothes you're not Captain America, clothes don't make the man.
Exactly.
Something like that.
The robes don't make the monk or something.
New robes don't make you a monk.
I was like, wow, good line, right? That's a good line. I like it.
And what he doesn't know is we've just watched 5 freaking episodes of Sam totally being Captain America.
Did he not watch the episodes? Fucking Jean-Luc Picard.
They're not out in France.
Yeah, it's not available in France. So in the next scene, as you said, like one of the guys comes over, like
French Canadian.
Anyway,
definitely not even for France.
Listen, there, French sympathizer. Okay, let's go. Anyway,
no, I hate the French. That's my point. Like,
racist much. Jesus, we're talking about a show about race. Do you want to not do that? All right. Anyway, who are you? I'm Captain America. I thought Captain America was on the moon. Call back to the first episode. It's really funny moment right there. The team quickly realize what Carly's trying to do. Carly and her gang are trying to do. Try to force everybody outside. So they go, it's a misdirect. Keep everybody inside the building. And that's what they go for. Bucky enters the building to try and get the people, at least to try and secure them. And Carly calls up Bucky on one of the random people passing by his phone.
Somebody stops Bucky and she's like, hey, it's for you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It seems a little bit out of place,
especially because the people in there are supposed to be. Don't get me wrong. Everyone can be bought off. Everyone can can fall switch sides at any time. Yeah. But it seemed to be one of the people working there, and it was like, anyway.
But as I mean, we believe that Hydra infiltrated Shield in the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean?
That's true. Good.
So a couple of people bought off during this movement isn't. We see that constantly through this show, so it's not that big of a surprise.
I'll let go. I think basically the way I choose to view that, because it was done very clunkily, is that she calls one of the Flag Smasher sympathizers that works there, who's obviously going to pick up the call from her like fucking Queen Bee, right?
Yeah. And
then she's like, yeah, give me to the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So he tries to talk her down, and she also tries to talk him down. It's like, don't you see we're trying to change the world here? We're trying to get this done. I'm working on something bigger. Bucky tries to say, no, look, I've been on your side. I've done your fight. It's not like it shouldn't be done like this. You're not doing anything good. But little does Bucky know, the whole conversation is just for bullshit. It's just to keep him occupied while they can get the people out of the building.
There is a good line here, though.
Go on.
She says, we're fighting for something bigger than ourselves. You should try it. And he's like, I've been doing that for 90 years, which is...
Respect, bruv. Respect.
Yeah.
The politicians get taken down to the basement. They get loaded into an armored truck, but one of the Flag Smashers is there dressed up as one of the military and puts like a cool spider bot on the back of the truck doors. I'm like, okay, what's that? We'll find out later. Carly then hangs up and whatnot, and Bucky realizes that he's failed on his mission, which was to secure those politicians to make sure that they don't get taken. And it's like they're proper like giving him shit over the phone. It's like, nice job there, Bucky. It's like, hey, you worry about your guy. And Sharon goes off and takes out a fucking super soldier.
She melts somebody.
Yes. She gets like a hockey puck thing with like a yellow light on it, bumps into him, so so sorry I didn't see you there, like slips it in his armor right there. He gets in a car, she hits the button, and then you see a shot of him with like a melted face. As if like he's just had like acid poured on him. Madness. Brutal. But I love as well how they're like, okay, well that's one down, and Sam's just like, how the hell did you do that? Because it's a super soldier. Right. She's just a woman. Strange, right?
In fairness, and I want to say...
She's just a woman.
Just a woman. What can women do,
wow,
eh?
That is the official 4 Pillars Network opinion.
That is. Take it to the bank, guys. Take it to the bank.
I want to say, Sharon, I feel really conflicted about her this episode because I freaking hated her. But she also has, in my opinion, arguably the best fight scene in Marvel cinematic anything.
It was great.
That stuff in the shipping container area, I loved it. It was so good. Why
did you hate her this episode?
Yeah, I hated this
are we
episode.
jumping
Sharon
or is
has
that
had
or
these
is it
incredible highs and incredible lows, and this whole episode is a huge low.
I will talk about it when we get to the
why do you
post-credit
think it was a
scene.
low? Just because of what happens later, or are you talking about at this point already? You were like,
I hated her the whole way through the show.
Yeah.
This episode, I'm sorry. This whole episode, I hated her.
why?
I didn't buy anything she was doing.
Yeah.
None of it made
Yeah.
sense to me. Coming to the States, infiltrating, getting to the exact spot without having had prior contact with the two of them, what she does, like why she takes people out, following this thing. I didn't buy any.
I mean, I guess her being the power broker sort of explains how she got there.
right, but like we don't know that yet, right? It just
Yeah,
I
I
knew
know,
that.
but you.
I knew
yeah,
that from the
I get what
beginning.
you're saying.
Ed
I
knew,
get
of
what you're
course.
saying.
Yeah, I knew that from
But
the
I
beginning.
guess it's supposed to pay off. But I guess because the payoff isn't good.
right.
Yeah, her motivations
Yeah,
is the
I
thing just don't
I
get.
agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of devil's advocate here because I
Sure.
sort of I didn't like her either, and I'm a big fan of Sharon Carter, the
Me too.
character throughout.
I
the
felt like we
Marvel
weren't watching
universe,
Sharon
but,
Carter. We were watching some.
they've sort of ruined her.
Yeah.
This episode.
We were watching some secret agent, not Sharon Carter. Yeah, I really like Sharon Carter, and I loved because I thought when we were watching her fight in the shipping containers, we were watching Sharon Carter, who was a burned agent, was making her way, and then now wants to get a pardon, and then which I loved. But watching
out it
her and thinking, oh, that's the power broker, which is totally different from the shadow broker, by the way. I'd never confuse those two things.
You've never done that.
I don't like her as the power broker. I get it. I get that
She
she
almost
is.
literally did it.
I knew I did it. Again, I don't like her as the power broker.
Yeah,
I
it
get
makes
it,
sense.
and they set it up well enough. I just don't like it. I like Sharon Carter, and Sharon Carter isn't the power broker.
Do you know what it is as well? Is that she was an inherently good character from another good character that we all loved, Peggy Carter.
Of course, yeah.
So
We love pegging.
Her turning Peggy is just great. Her turning so bad, not evil. She's not evil. She's not like murdering people on the side of the street, even though she probably has murdered a ton of people doing what she does. But how could you go from I'm a secret agent, sort of like a double agent.
Right.
I can do whatever I like. I can go. Borders don't mean anything to me. I'm part of S.H.I.E.L.D. to now I'm actually part of the crime underworld, and I'm on the black market, and I've got all this power. It just seems such a weird change. Anyway, hopefully they explain it, but I don't see how they can explain it so well. They'll be done. Anyway, one thing that I glossed over, while Sam was in the GRC building, he does meet Batroc, Jean-Luc Picard, and Jean-Luc Picard comes along and is like, you lost me a lot of money. I wonder how much you can get for your little bird suit. And he's like, maybe a baguette and some fries. Oh, because you get it? He's French. Get it?
Because he's French and definitely not Quebecois.
And definitely not Quebecian, whatever. Anyway, they have a fight. It goes actually quite well.
Fight.
There's a really cool bunch of moments where he uses his jetpack and his shield.
Cap's
It's really
fight
fucking
style
cool.
now. Like with the shield, but also like sort of the way he fights with his wings. And it's just a very different style that we saw with Steve's Cap.
It's good.
I like that not being a super soldier, he's just like in the first episode where he fights in the plane.
Yes.
That he's using the what's that thing called jetpack to like give him the extra boost, give him the jump, the distance.
Yeah.
It looks so good, and he reminds me of Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But he's also very much Sam.
Yeah.
You know, it's really well done. I really enjoy watching him fight.
It is good. At that moment, he gets communication on his radio saying that the helicopter's taking off from the roof, which has a bunch of GRC politicians in there as well. And Bucky says, I don't do flying, that's your job. So Sam has to leave the fight that he's on, quickly knocks back Batroc, and he says, au revoir, and then throws the throws the shield out the window and flies. It does like a rolling jump, opens up his wings and catches the shield again in such a badass way. It was really cool right there. And then he goes off to chase this helicopter.
Yes, he does.
And while he goes to chase this helicopter, this is actually the peak of the entire episode.
True.
Everything else about this episode falls to the wayside.
Actually, there's a second peak.
Are you sure?
I promise you we'll get
I'm pretty sure this is the peak, but as he's about to run after this, fly after this helicopter, he's like, oh, we've got to find out who's on that helicopter. hey, Redwing.
Redwing's alive!
Redwing's alive! Redwing, find out, see if there's anyone on the helicopter that has got flight training. Redwing's back, guys!
Redwing's back, and also that's a very specific request. There's like 4 people on there, including the villains.
Do you know, Redwing is literally the best hero ever.
Facts.
He's literally better than anyone else. One time he doesn't even say anything and he goes and uses his laser to cut off the spider bot thing on the back. He just goes and opens up. He just took that initiative by himself.
Yes.
Someone just put Ultron level AI into in Redwing. Anyway, I've lost where I am. Oh, we cut back to Carly and the gang.
Yeah.
They find out that one of their guys isn't responding. One of the guys that Sharon took out.
Yeah.
And he goes, and one of the other flag smashers is about to suggest, okay, let's abort the mission. Let's call it off. We can still get to safety if. And she goes, no. Diego's in the air. The truck's almost here. Worst case scenario, we kill all the hostages. What?
Yeah, this is Carly's character progression so bizarre. Like in the last 2 episodes, she just went like, because she's gonna say to Captain frickin' US agent, "Oh, I didn't mean to kill your friend."
Yeah.
But here she's like, "Let's just kill all the hostages." Carly's written. This episode has some really high peaks and some really low valleys, and all of the valleys are writing and editing stuff.
It's really weird because we've seen good villains be written before.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's done great. But you know what they seem to fail a lot at? They seem to fail at making women really good villains. I don't know why sometimes people find it so hard, because it shouldn't be that hard. It's just good writing. And somehow they're
Nebula.
Exactly. But I feel like for some reason they just need to go, oh, make her do something evil. That's how you know she's evil. But that doesn't make her a good villain.
Yeah.
And anyway, this just wasn't, I was just like, okay, you just went and did something really stupid there. That makes no sense. Anyway, after that little conversation, she does try to get a little like hurrah moment out of her comrade. She's like,
They're
one
definitely
world.
not in. They're not bought in.
I said one world. One people.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, we'll get through that. We cut back to Sam. He's chasing down the helicopter, and that helicopter somehow hits a police helicopter on the way as well. It rams
the police helicopter.
But only the police helicopter gets damaged, obviously.
Because it's not the villain's helicopter, obviously.
Exactly right there. But don't worry. The best superhero ever is on the case.
Yep.
Redwing smashes the window, grabs one of the pilots with like a grapple, and then just carries the guy to safety. And then Sam's just like, I guess I'll do the last one then. Fuck you know, I'm not even that. I'm a B character in this movie right now. It genuinely, Redwing is the best superhero ever. Put that on Twitter. Put that on the box. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail.
No, don't make that thumbnail.
Do not do that
for views.
You've like
out of all the things you can make a thumbnail for this episode.
Go on. The helicopter ends up like falling. No, or is it the villain's one that ends? No,
it's the police helicopter ends up falling, and what Sam does. Cap uses vibranium, obviously the shield, but also these vibranium wings, and blocks and covers him and one of the police officers.
That was
and
fucking.
on
I could
the
have
bridge,
died from dehydration.
And blocks off the helicopter, and it falls into the Hudson. And then comes out. He does this awesome stance with his wings out, looking like a big cat reveal moment in front of a
crowd of people,
bunch of the citizens. Yeah. They're all cheering him on, and he flies off to continue the fight.
It was really good right there. That was an awesome move as well. It's like only could be done with vibranium wings. Obviously,
it also works. That's the point. Like they're not finding plot armor reasons that Sam can do amazing stuff. He's covered in vibranium, and it seems like the wings are working sort of like Bucky's arm, like they're just working with his mind.
That was always the case, though, sort of, wasn't it? It was like...
but now that it's from Wakanda, it 100% makes sense.
Because it's all, like, really advanced science over there. Anyway, that worked. That was really cool. And he doesn't... What I like about this moment is that Sam doesn't stick around to, like, take the praise or anything like that.
He doesn't John Walker it, like, hey, guys, can I sign an autograph? No, he's like, I'm Captain America, go bye.
Exactly right then. So he does that. We skipped ahead.
Bucky catches up to the flag smashers on a motorbike, which is awesome.
On his motorbike right there.
And they just decide to burn the cars?
Yeah, so he does this cool thing where like he rides the motorbike into a barricade and he like does a dive and lands on one of the flag smashers.
That was cool.
Starts fighting, really cool stuff. He starts fighting with a couple of them. Carly gets up the bright idea where she's like, he needs a distraction. Give him someone to save. So they rip off the fuel tank of the bike, pour it on one of the trucks and set it on fire. And obviously, immediately Bucky's like, shit, I've got to help these people. It was a good distraction. A little bit sinister, but, you know, we'll gloss over that bit right there.
It's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
And there is a really cool bit where he just tries to rip open the door, but it's really, really closed.
That's spite. Fuck's sake.
Like it's not a little bit open. It's not like I think there's some air getting through there. It's
so much. It's really, really close. The thing that bugs me about this is it's the spider thing that's keeping it closed.
Yeah.
And Bucky is strong enough, and that vibranium arm is strong enough that it could pull the hinges off this thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a bit of a thing. But to like add to the confusion, John Walker arrives.
That's true. Morgenthau!
Is no one also wondering we're in New York? It's like, hey, Spider-Man, what are you doing?
Where you at, fam?
In just terms of
He's in Italy
Marvel
on a
inconsistencies.
trip.
Look, he finally got Zendaya in the sack. Give him a break, bruv.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You're right.
He's going to lose his virginity for the first time. Jesus, leave him alone.
You're right.
Wait,
You're right. I'm
what do
sorry.
you mean he's going to lose his virginity for the first time?
Oh, yeah, that's true, because you can't lose it a
Oh,
second
yeah, you
time.
only lose it once.
Is this one of those things if you don't have sex for 6
haven't
months? It's like it regrows.
Re-virgin us. I was going to say, I haven't lost mine yet, so I don't know what we're talking about. Morgenthau, I've got a bone to pick with you. And she basically goes like, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to hurt people that don't matter.
I didn't mean to kill your friend. I don't want to hurt people that don't matter.
Exactly. And he takes it as literally like, you think Lamar's life didn't matter? It's just like, oh shit. And then they go to town. Now I admire John here for a second. He goes up against 5-6 flag smashers with a 5 minutes craft shield that he made earlier off of like some random YouTube channel and a PTSD brain of losing his best mate. I gotta give him some props right here, you know? He went to town there.
Did anybody notice the editing that when that shield gets hit, it doesn't have the same, like it feels different to the vibranium shield.
Yeah, it feels
The
different.
sound with the editing was really a thing as well. Like you throw it in, it sounds more just like metal rather than vibranium.
Yeah. And it doesn't
And while that's happening, Bucky gets a bunch of the hostages freed in one of the vans. But he has that moment where they're thanking Bucky, and it's that like hero moment for the first time that Bucky's ever had with a civilian.
Yeah.
It's very
You know what I
cool.
mean? Of like, oh yeah, I'm a hero now.
I actually did this.
Like, and he has been for a while, obviously, as we know, since Civil War. Like, it's been a lot of years, but he's never really had that, I guess, recognition as
He's
a hero.
only ever fought villains. He's never really saved innocents, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's
and
he's
it's a
fought
bit,
villains, but
and
he's
it's
not
paying
done
off
the
what
day-to-day
Sam's
hero
speech was
thing.
to him in the last episode. Do the work.
Yeah. Can I say that, actually, this is my biggest beef with this whole episode. I have many.
Go on.
The Nakajima thing, I've got huge blue balls because of that.
We'll get to that bit because I also would like to say something.
Yeah,
about
well, no, I agree. I 100% agree.
In the next scene, Sam gets in contact with one of the women on the helicopter, who apparently can fly a helicopter. Redwing sorted that out. Good boy, Redwing. While he's getting in contact with her, he sends her a text message. I'll put your earbuds in, puts it in there. I've got a plan, but we're just going to take extreme precision right now. And then just as he says that, the flag smasher turns the helicopter, hits Sam with the blades, and he goes flying into a ship and then goes into the ocean. And we're like, oh shit. Well, that vibranium's going to weigh him down or something. He's probably going to sink to the bottom.
Also, I feel like vibranium...
Did you guys... But can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you guys like this helicopter chase? It went too long for me.
No, not at all.
It didn't make sense. It was
went
unrealistic.
Way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Also...
Like, it should have... Once the bridge thing had happened, it's over. But they kept it going for another whole scene. I'm like, this is too much.
I feel like
way too much.
Just because it was broken up.
It was broken up.
Tension breaks.
Yeah, the tension was broken.
Yeah, but even then, it was too long. You could have had it all together. It's too long.
Yeah,
it's too long.
And the very first thing we see in this show is Sam destroying like 7 of these things.
Yeah.
Like, he should have saved the people on the bridge and then just gone and boom, blasted through, kicked the guy out the door, grabbed the controls and gone, yo, Jenny, or whatever her name is, like, jump up here, I know you can fly.
Redwing told me.
Yeah.
Right, done.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
And then you have more time with John Walker and Bucky where you don't see Sam.
Yeah.
And then when he
Yes.
comes in, it just makes it that little bit more because it's been so much time.
And also they're friends now?
Yeah, they just sort of have this, like we're buddies.
Well, it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I think,
I get
in
it.
this moment.
I get it, but like... So you weren't here for the
don't
last
know.
episode, but there's been some very smooth writing. Like in episode 5, Bucky's sleeping on the sofa,
yeah.
right? Which I thought was this brilliant scene. And he wakes up to children laughing, or I guess his soon-to-be adopted kids laughing
Exactly, yes,
in a
yes,
house surrounded by like friends and
Soon to be
family.
stepchildren,
Right. And he's sleeping on the sofa.
Yeah.
He's not on the floor. So that's slick writing in this well-done scene. And then suddenly you got stuff like this where like this chase goes on for 2 or 3 times longer than it needs to. Those helicopter blades do not beat vibranium suit.
It's just that a bunch. Also, even if he didn't cut through like Sam, right? The helicopter blades are fucked.
Yeah.
The helicopter's coming down. It's just anyway. There's a whole bunch of little things like this, but I guess the whole answer to everything is gonna be comic book movie, man. Comic book movie. You know, let's just get past it all.
I mean, I was actually fine with the John Walker stuff, to be honest. It's actually one of the highlights of the episode. I thought.
actually
In
agree
the end,
general,
in the end, I think so. It's just I feel like it
I don't
came
know.
out of
I
nowhere.
thought in the moment I got it, I was like, Bucky and him, they're not going to need to. They don't need to fight each other in this moment. Like, it's a. Why it makes no sense they would fight each other, and we've got that through the whole show. They never just. They only fought each other one time, and it was because of a very specific moment that happened. Other than that, even though they didn't like it, they always fought together because they were always on the same side.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I don't think it's a big stretch all of a sudden to be like, when they're trying to fight Carly and the Flag Smashers, it's like they're going to fight each other, and so that doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it's a huge stretch that they're like suddenly enemies, because they're actually at least facing the same direction, right? They might not be necessarily on the same team exactly, but they have similar goals. I just don't buy that suddenly they just super trust each other.
Especially because the last scene of them was like, okay, he broke his arm and had to basically pry the shield from him.
Right.
And then they left him to die in a warehouse, even though
And
he
also
probably wouldn't have died.
because of the way it went down,
Yeah.
in his lowest point, after killing that guy, they beat him up, break his arm, take the shield, and then he goes home, gets prosecuted, court-martialed or whatever, and the last thing they say is, you need to get us the shield.
Yeah.
Well, this is the guy that stole the shield from me.
Yeah.
And now they're buddies.
Yeah. As I said, they needed a bit more in this episode. They needed to... Maybe they could have cut a bit of time out of the helicopter chase and maybe divert...
Yeah, like 10 minutes of that helicopter chase didn't need to be...
Anyway, Sam gets knocked into the water and we're like, oh, well, he's dead now. You know, he hasn't got any like superpowers to get him out of there. But don't worry, my man's jetpack works in water. Don't worry about it. And he jets out of there.
Yeah.
And he gets out and he's like, boy, you just earned this ass whooping. God, I love Anthony Mackie. He's fucking great. He
Carly.
coordinates with the woman. Sorry.
So I thought we did the whole like that's the helicopter scene.
Oh, I didn't finish. Sorry, let me just say this bit. He coordinates with the woman on board and says, "All right, we need to work absolutely perfect. Countdown from 5." She starts counting down from 5.
Oh God, can we?
And
You're dragging this
like,
scene on
when
longer than
he-
the fucking show
He
did.
throws
Holy
the
fuck.
shield,
It
bangs
works.
the door open, grabs it again, and does this like flip. Nails the pilot Flag Smasher,
Yes.
throws him into the water, and then the woman saves the day by picking up the controls.
Yes.
Everyone saved. Congratulations.
Back on the ground.
Yes.
Let's kill this frickin' scene. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, God.
Carly decides that she's just going to push the car that isn't on fire
Yes.
off like a dock that's just in the middle of New York City. What's the deal with that thing?
It's like a construction site, but like lower. I think there's tunnels below, and that's why they were that tunnel. It was like a tunnel entrance that hadn't been built yet.
Aight.
And it was like going off there. She drives it off the edge, and it sort of gets stuck halfway.
Yeah.
Walker sees Carly and starts a fight with her.
Yeah.
But gets knocked out at one point, and Carly goes to try to push it off
Something
even further.
like that, yeah.
Anyway, it's about to go off. Things are going down. Bucky, unfortunately, he got knocked down from a previous fight, and he's below the car down in this construction site. And John Walker wakes up and he's just like, the people are falling, but Carly's over here. That's the person that killed Lamar. And he shakes his head for a moment, but then does the heroic thing and holds onto the back of the truck and pulls it back to half safety.
I'm actually kind of conflicted about this.
Go on.
Because he's been set up to be almost a villain.
Yeah.
And 100% like PTSD, super crazy kind of thing, right? Since 2 or 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to have this huge redemption out of nowhere with the cause of everything that's going wrong, Carly, right there. I don't know, it feels a little bit strange. I do like that he doesn't like come in and save them. He just stops them falling and then goes after Carly.
Yeah.
But he goes from like, gotta save those people to now like, gotta murder this teenage girl. It's a bit clunky to me.
I guess he just hasn't fully... Go on.
I really liked this, to be honest. I don't know if I expected to like it, but like the fact that the shield drops, you see a shitty shield drop.
Yeah.
And then he's pulling them back, but then the flag smashers come after him and stop him, you know what I mean? They're trying to stop him from saving people. Yeah. And they all sort of fall off, and it's just that moment of like, he's better than they are. Like, that's what they're trying to communicate with you. It's like, look, he's not... Is he good? I don't know, but he's not... He's not the flag smashers. He's not trying to kill innocents.
He was a soldier. He killed a terrorist ultimately.
Yeah, look, he's not Captain America, and they don't try to make you think he is. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Sam. He's not Steve. He's not Captain America, but he's a good. Captain America's more than a good soldier. He's a good man. But what John Walker is a good soldier. And that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. What they've shown is, look, a good soldier can still be a good guy.
What I was thinking, maybe the time being around the whole Captain America icon and everything like that, and now that he's seen how far you can stray from the path, coming back, he might have inspired him to be a bit more decent now. He did do something that was kind of Captain America-like, where like he was holding on to the truck, and even though he was being attacked by super soldiers, he still didn't want to let go of the truck. He's not Captain America, so that it wasn't like that. But that was quite cool. That was quite nice.
My thing is,
I agree. I just think it was just a matter of he's being like who he is rather than trying to be someone else.
Yeah,
he's like, I am a good soldier. You know what I mean? He's now trying to just be who he is and not someone else. That's all I thought.
I get
of
it.
This moment.
My issue with it is that after this, like he saves them, he gets beaten up by the flag smashers, and then he ends up 1v1 with Carly. I think it's in that order.
But that's because they fall off.
Yeah, he falls down.
He falls down. They attack him and he falls down.
No, so when he's holding onto the thing, he starts getting attacked by all of them, and then he gets knocked down into the building site next to where Bucky is and whatnot. So he's like,
and that's when the truck starts to continue to fall because they've knocked him off, not because he chose to let go.
So that's actually before. So we did mess up the thing.
Okay, so
that's before he gets knocked out, and then when he wakes up, then he does that.
That's why I find this transition a bit strange, right? Because he's fighting 1v1 with Carly prior to this through some like scaffolding or something, and he's trying to kill this teenage girl. Yeah. Right? Who, terrorists and all that stuff, but he's trying to kill this girl. Yeah. And then he does this hero moment thing. And it's like, But
it's a choice he has, because remember, he looks at Carly running off and he sees the truck, and that's the moment.
Moment of redemption.
That's the moment, and he's sitting there doing his like PTSD, like blinking, struggling thing. And you don't know what's going to happen, and Bucky looks up, and you're sitting there thinking, oh my god, Bucky's going to have to fucking catch this truck, he's going to die. Like,
I know what you're saying, it's not a Redwing heroic moment, but it's,
it's no Redwing.
It's no Redwing, exactly.
I just find it a little bit clunky, that's all. Like, I'm cool with him getting the redemption arc, right? I quite liked it, And that's the thing, I actually did like it, but I just felt it was jerky. To go from like trying to murder this little girl.
It's the story of this episode, isn't it? It's a little bit annoying. So he falls.
It's almost like you agree with the decisions, but not necessarily how
the execution.
You get there
That's the thing. I felt like I was, because I put on Twitter, I put wow, and I put hashtag Eddie is right, obviously.
Of course.
When I went wow, I was like, all these amazing bits in the show are so good. It's just these tiny little things that don't really destroy it for me. But it's like, if these things just weren't there, it'd be so much better. Anyway, John tries to save the truck. He gets attacked by a bunch of flag smashers, and then he gets knocked to the ground to the bottom where Bucky is. And like, well, shit. How are we going to save this truck? It continues to fall. Don't worry, I'm sure Bucky will catch it or something like that.
Of course.
I think he'll probably get squashed at that point. I mean, even no super soldier serum could save that.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Anyway, it's just about to go down, and suddenly it stops. And then the new Captain America theme, and then you see the shield appear at the bottom of the truck, and it's Anthony Mackie as Captain America, son, and he's pushing back the truck. His jetpack is glowing bright blue.
Yeah.
2 Redwings.
This is the peak.
Two Redwings.
This
Two
is the
Redwings.
peak.
Two Redwings, boys. There we go. 2 Redwings pop out and they land on the truck to help push it up. And it's just like, pushes all the way up, and he saves the people in the truck. I have one issue with this.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's not possible. He's not a super soldier.
Okay.
Wow.
He's not a super soldier.
I keep seeing this shit.
Now I want you to let me fully
gives a
explain. Let me
fuck?
fully explain what I'm going to say
You're
before
watching-
you try and do any sort of witch hunting. Okay, I'm
Oh
okay
my
with
God.
suspending disbelief because he is freaking fucking Captain America. He's the core of this show, and it's supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to be epic, and this was an epic moment.
Yeah.
And I remember at that moment going, "Yeah, fuck yeah, come on, Captain America, yes, you fucking." But afterwards, I was like, "It's an armored truck full of people." He's pushing with a maximum thrust on his jetpack onto his arms, which are on the truck pushing back at him. He's got crushed arms and his whole chest is gone.
No, you're totally wrong.
Explain.
This is
You're
so
totally wrong. Because
Explain how you're wrong.
as he gets
Go on,
pushed up
Sheps.
into the truck, the truck ends up on the suit, which is basically a chest brace with the thing. So all that's actually pushing him is the frickin' jetpack. You're an idiot.
It's not on his chest.
You're an
You're a
idiot.
moron. It's
You're
not
an
on his
idiot.
chest.
It
You're a
is on
moron.
his
You
chest.
don't-
It is
you
on his
don't
chest.
So
see
hold on a
that.
second.
What are you talking
Hold on
about?
a
You see
second.
him going like this.
Hold on
It's
one
on his.
second.
It's on
Are
his.
you telling
first
me
it
that he
starts
went
his
in
back.
catching
I'm
with
watching
his
it now,
chest?
you fucking idiot.
Did
It's
he
on his
go in-
back,
did he go
it's
in
on
and
his
catch with
back,
his
and then it
chest?
goes to
What's
his
on his
chest.
back? Yeah.
How did he go and catch it with his chest?
No, he didn't catch it with his chest, but if you try and lift something and it's too heavy for you, it comes down.
How
and
did
you
he
brace
explain
it
to
on
me
your
how he
chest.
caught it? Explain to me how he caught it. What point of contact was the first thing?
He catches it with his
His
hands.
hands, okay, all right. So
Before
his
it
hands are
goes-
broken now. What the
No,
now
but his
they want
hands
to-
aren't broken. It doesn't. He catches it
He
as
stops
it's coming
the
down.
weight. He
and
stops the weight with his arms, and his arms are broken. Go on.
But that isn't how it would work. Like
How
what-
physics wouldn't work.
No,
okay.
because his
I'm
arms
not
would
having this
collapse
argument. It's a
before.
fucking superhero movie.
That's why.
What are
I
you
said that
talking
at the
about?
beginning. I said that at the
Mate,
beginning. I said that at the beginning.
First of all, yeah, it's a
I said that at the
superhero
beginning.
movie.
It's a superhero movie.
Completely about a movie that's
completely
like,
able
supposed to be
to-
live action, but it looks like a fucking cartoon. to
They
me. It's so
have
poorly,
actual
you know,
superpowers. That's
poorly
why it's a
filmed and
good
shot and
superhero
all that
movie.
CGI bullshit. And you're trying to tell me you're not believing this
An
this
actual
shit.
superhero
You're
movie.
a fucking idiot.
Anyway,
What are
as
you
I
talking
said,
about?
as I said,
This guy likes a fucking battery that's powered by the sun and is allergic to a rock.
I'm
That's
sorry,
what he thinks
Martha.
A good hero.
anyway, as I said, I'm willing to completely suspend disbelief
Then
because
do that.
because it is a superhero movie.
You're not
and
willing
because-
to because you're sitting here fucking arguing about
Okay,
it.
so the words that I said you're ignoring. No
Yes.
problem, no problem. But there was anyway. I said I'm willing to because it is Captain fucking America and it is him with this epic moment.
Yeah.
And he saved the day. And anyway, he saves the day, pulling those people to safety.
Also, I just realised a flaw in your whole
Here we go.
Anthony Mackie
Anthony
thing.
Mackie. That's my whole play.
Right. Here's 2 Redwings pushing.
That's a solid point. He's got it there, guys.
There, I expect a formal
Not one,
apology.
but 2 Red Wings. The actual greatest superhero.
Exactly.
Anyway,
And is it possible that there's vibranium in his gloves? Has
Oh,
anyone
shit,
considered
good
that?
point.
let's not.
Solid
don't,
point.
You're making yourself sound like an idiot, Tyler. You
has
do that on a
anyone
daily
considered that?
basis,
Has
but
anyone
come
considered
on.
that?
Don't
It's
make
worth-
it
it's
even
worth
worse
thinking
for
about.
yourself. Anyway, he pushes it back up, and everyone around in the crowd are like, "Oh yeah, yeah." One guy's like, "That's Black Falcon, I tell ya," and another guy's like, "Nah, that's Captain America."
Can we just...
Issues with this?
Okay. Twice in this episode,
Cheesy.
he gets called Black Falcon.
Yes.
And he's already addressed that he's one... I mean, he's never been called Black Falcon by, like, the media as an Avenger. He's Falcon.
Yeah.
In episode, I think, 2 or 3, a kid says, "Hey, is it Black Falcon?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's just Falcon. I don't call you Black Kid. I call you Kid. I wonder if that's on purpose.
I think it's just supposed to be a joke callback. That's all it is.
Yeah, but
It's
they
the
do
same
it
with the thought
twice.
Captain America was on the moon. Like, I think it's just that's all it's supposed to be.
The thing is, they do it twice.
I think it's supposed to be both times. It's supposed to be you're not supposed to see people for the color. You're supposed to see people for who they are. Now
It's just interesting that
it
it's
doesn't
both.
make sense that they calls him Captain America afterwards because first of all, no one has called him Captain America up until now. He literally called himself that maybe 14 minutes ago when he was in a building. So no one knows he's Captain America. But also, like Tyler said, it was cheesy. It was very,
bit,
very cheesy.
It was cheesy.
It was a cheesy
Bit
moment.
cringy.
Even him going, "Nah, that's Captain America." I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to do it, but it felt very Raimi Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
wait,
how it felt.
Hey, he's a hero.
Oh, Jesus, he's a hero. Carry him, guys.
He's a kid.
He's
no older than my son.
Go on.
It's just cheesy.
But yeah, it was a bit cheesy, but it was fine. Like,
it
it
didn't
was,
I just
kill
find
it
it
for me.
weird
And-
that both times.
and then very quickly after that, the Flag Smash was like, "Oh, that's cool, he saved him, but we're still trying to kill you." And they throw that like massive metal beam
Rebar.
at Bucky, and he just catches it, and then the fight's back on.
Does he catch it in
But
a very
then-
specific way though? Did anyone notice?
No.
He caught it the way that Steve caught that spear in Endgame. You know, in the
Oh
shadows.
yeah,
He was
that's
like,
right. He
"Ding."
absolutely does.
Oh,
was
that's
very
why that
cool.
looks familiar.
It's very cool. I was like, yeah, go on, boy, yeah. Anyway,
Wait, Bucky's a fucking
See,
gangster.
the fight gets back on like
Bucky's so fucking
he's
sick.
cool. He's cool.
He's so sick.
The fight gets back on like Tyler said, but just as it's about to get started, Sam
Jean-Luc
comes out.
Picard.
Oh no! Sam comes out, throws his shield, knocks all 5 of the Flag Smashers over with one throw. Fucking badass.
From a regular human, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, come on, there's problems.
It's vibranium shield.
Exactly. No, it's the shield that does it. That's what it is.
And it totally couldn't kill, say, like Zemo if it hit him in the head.
No. The shield
Right.
doesn't.
No.
It doesn't hurt anybody. It just knocks them out. Anyway, and then just as they're gonna have a little confrontation, Carly does say as well, like, you of all people bought into that bullshit. Basically saying you're a black person standing up with America. America's against you black people. Anyway, just as she's about to say that, Jean-Luc Picard comes in with his smoke grenades. Boom, boom, boom,
I think it's
lights
more,
the whole
more than
place
that. I
up.
want to give Carly her fair shake in this.
Go on.
When she says you bought into all that shit, in the last 5 years, like during the snap,
Yeah.
like America, as we learn, has become, like from John Walker, what he represents as Captain America, with the heavy air quotes, is like the world police, overstepping, just sticking your nose into other people's business style of like America.
Yeah.
So he doesn't just represent everything that we think of. He represents all of that stuff. That's what she's saying, because she was here through those 5 years.
Yeah.
And so she's acting like he's bought into all of that and is now the ultimate representation of that sort of like overstepping of authority, not caring
Right.
about the little guy, right?
I could buy that. Yeah.
So I do want to give her her fair shake. Like that line makes sense. It's good. It firmly puts Sam against her, like they are now enemies for sure.
Yeah. I could buy that. I could buy that too. Just as they're about to, just the smoke comes in and everyone sort of scatters and they all go down into the tunnels.
Jean-Luc Picard with a grenade launcher with no grenades in it.
You can
just
see
smoke.
down the thing, just whatever.
He just blasts off like all these smoke grenades. Everybody around him, including I think there's a cop like 10 feet away, is just like, oh hey, here's Jean-Luc Picard.
Must be fine. I
Yeah, I,
won't
guess
shoot him.
I won't even pull out my gun and try to arrest him. He'll just beam back up. you know?
Exactly. They all go running into the tunnels, and then the lads they all go on a hunt for these flag smashers. Sharon also is down there. She lures Carly with that signature.
So at that point, I was like 100% she's the power broker because she knows Carly's like
Yeah, of
secret
course.
whistle.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, this is the moment that we find out anyway. She lures Carly in and she pulls a gun on Carly and Carly pulls a gun on her and they have a conversation like they've met
I love that
before.
Sheps is like, this is when I realized she's a power broker. Oh, you mean when everyone else did?
When they say
job.
it.
No, the whistle. The whistle. She uses the whistle.
Sure you did, sweet.
In fairness, I knew it because you told me. You told me in episode 2 she's the power broker. I knew that.
I told you the whole time.
And I was thinking she was the shadow broker, totally different character.
Yeah, you were. You were confused.
He was too busy thinking about
Oh, she's
Hydra.
not
I
the
was thinking about
shadow
Miranda,
broker.
to be
she's
honest.
the power broker, right? I didn't know, but now I do because of the whistle.
The whistle gave it away.
The thing is, the whistle is like it confirms that they know each other. They knew each other before this, right? And the only people that we know Carly knew prior to this in the underworld was the power broker. Boom, confirmed.
I'm just
and then
thinking,
she calls her the power broker, and then I'm like, frickhead's gonna frickin'.
At this point, you were like, I have my suspicions that she's the power
Something's
broker.
not right here. Just 1 minute.
Hello,
Hold
power
on.
broker. I don't know. Anyway, she says, like, you know, when I met you in Madripoor, I saw a lot of myself in you, like a young me. And then you find out, boom, big moment, Sharon is the power broker. Oh my god.
I mean, I've been suspecting that since episode 2.
To be fair, right? Batroc comes in at this moment and he hears...
Didn't like any of this.
And he hears that Sharon is the power broker. And he's like, oh, so you are the power broker. That's an accurate...
That's exactly what he says and exactly how he says it.
Exactly.
Did you have a soundboard
Yes,
ready
true.
for that?
I did have it, yeah. Did you? I just hit play. That's what I hit right there. And tries to blackmail her. It's like, well, now I know your identity. Now you've got to pay me 4 times the amount you've been paying me to not tell people that you're the
You're the Sharon broker.
You're the Sharon broker. You're the power broker. And she's like, nah, I don't like blackmail. Unloads a bullet in him. Kills Batroc. Batroc be dead.
Batroc be dead.
Steve couldn't do that. Falcon couldn't do that.
I mean, they could have done it.
Could have, yeah, it's true, they wouldn't. Anyway, he's dead now. And but Carly unloads a bullet in her as well.
Yeah.
So Sharon's got one to the gut
Pumps
too.
one into her guts, which, let's be honest.
We all wanted to. We all
I'm
really
sorry.
wanted to.
I'm sorry.
Terrible human being. But Sam hears it. Obviously, it's a very echoey tunnel. Comes over and sees Sharon on the floor, and obviously thinks the worst and thinks, okay, she's been shot. She must be the victim in all of this. She can't possibly be a shadow broker or anything like that. Power broker, sorry. You're making me say it now, you bastard. And Carly decides to start getting angry and fighting Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, however, doesn't want to fight her. Even in these moments, still is trying to be a hero and trying to get through to her, to try and get her to stop. It's like, look, you kill 1 person today, tomorrow 10, then 100. When is it going to stop? But she's in her, like, rage and wants to fight.
She just shot someone as well, like...
It's true.
Yeah, she's in the middle of a fight.
And also, she's, like, wailing on him and is always like, why won't you fight me? Fight me! Fight me! And it's just like, bitch, calm down for 1 second and you'll see this is not right. Something wrong here.
Okay.
During the same time, did you mention that Bucky and Walker also, like, it cuts to them and they capture all the other super soldiers using their own app, their Flag Smasher
It's
app?
very cool.
That was very, very cool, yeah.
It's very cool.
Luckily, these power brokers, these super soldiers, these guys, these
Super
flag
stupid.
smashers. Stupid? They don't want to fight. They don't want to kill people. So luckily, they're the ones.
They're at that point that they've almost, like, sort of lost a bit of the faith.
And to be honest,
which is
they didn't want to hurt anybody in the first place. I mean, you saw how they reacted when it was like, kill all the hostages. Like, whoa, bitch.
I mean,
what's
even
wrong with
before that, when she
you?
sets off the bomb, like her number one guy's like, there's people in there.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, we're surrounded. Even if we were willing to take all these people out.
We saw our guy do his useless sacrifice early on.
So dumb. Anyway, they get captured, and what is it? John Walker gives a quote from President Lincoln, and Bucky doesn't like it. It's like, really, Lincoln? It's like, yeah, it's a great quote. Yeah, but not coming from you. So fucking yes, good point.
Anyway.
It was that funny moment of like, all right, so these guys aren't.
This is the thing.
They've found their common ground here.
But I feel like they're just a bit too buddy at this point. They're like, oh hey, it's like
a bit close.
Yeah, it's a bit close.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed that. I'm like,
that's the
seeing
thing.
that because Walker had lost that edge of like ego.
Yes,
and I liked
he's
seeing
humbled.
that because I think they both saw what Sam did, and to when they saw Sam save those people in the van. What you saw, 2 different reactions. But what you saw from Bucky was pride, because he always knew, because he believes in Steve, and Steve saw that in him, so Bucky believed that was in him. So there's a moment of pride of like, fuck yeah, Steve was right about both of us. I knew you could do it. And you saw on Walker's face of like, fuck, he's Captain America.
Yeah, he knows. He knows he's not Captain
So
America.
I feel like at that moment, once the ego goes, the buddy can happen, because that was the only thing blocking them. They didn't hate each other as people. He hated that he thought he was Captain America, which he never was.
I really liked John Walker in this whole episode. I really liked him. I found him really
Yeah.
endearing. And that's also a problem because he's been a villain for 4 episodes.
I think they set him up wrong. So this is something that you guys, maybe one of you guys knows more about. This. Maybe Tyler knows more about it. Is U.S. Agent supposed to be a villain, or is he just supposed to be less of a good guy?
He's a super...
both.
Yeah, he's
Both
a
in
special
various
operations
stories
super
and different
soldier.
times.
He does
Okay.
Black Ops super soldier stuff.
Okay, because I don't know the character, and I didn't actually look into him like I have done previously. I just decided not to for this one. And I was like, they were teeing him up to be like the worst villain ever. Like he was going to be totally terrible.
After his court-martial, he's
U.S.
to be a
Agent
villain.
is a villain at times, but
Yeah.
but he's also
And now he's like,
he
yeah,
can
cool.
be that anti.
Yeah,
It's more of an anti-hero as well.
Yeah,
at times.
he works for towards America's goals, right? And a lot of the times that's doing some shady stuff.
Yeah, America. Yeah, okay, I can see how
That's-
that be.
I mean, all governments do shady shit. He's Mr. Government Black Ops man, right?
Okay.
That's the basic gist.
I mean, there's a few like I didn't want to. I mean, it's obvious now, but early on I didn't want to say anything when we were doing the podcast early in the season. But like, as soon as Torres was introduced, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Torres in the comics.
he's Falcon.
Is the next Falcon.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say that early on and be like spoilers. But once
Right.
they sort of made that obvious when he was like, yeah, keep the wings.
Yeah, he kept the wings.
You know what I mean? So you'll see him Torres again in Cap 4.
Yeah.
There is
I'm
one
sure.
thing, and we glossed over it. One of the most badass freaking things, even more badass than stopping the helicopter on the bridge.
Yeah.
Sam fighting Carly. She kicks the shield, and he uses the wings and slams into the ground.
wings come down.
I was fully
Yeah.
erect, boys. Fully erect.
But let me tell you how that's
was a
not
moment.
So
possible.
there's a little 1.8 tent pitched in my pants.
So yeah, at the end of the fight where like Carly's going all like, why won't you fight me? Rah! She pulls a gun on Sam, and Sam doesn't really defend himself. He's almost like, if this is what you need to do to see how shit is, then I guess.
That I
But
didn't like.
Just as the thing is, you can't sacrifice yourself.
Willing to-
You're more important alive. But I get the thing he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Was you gonna say something there, Tyler?
Well, it's a very Cap thing to sacrifice yourself. You
Yeah.
don't think you're important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's why Sam's Captain America, not John Walker. He doesn't think he's important.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
He's not there to do it forever for a long time. He's there to do it for however long it has to be the right way.
That is a very interesting hero thing because both ways are interpreted really cool. Like you not thinking you're so important is very heroic trait, but doing what needs to be done, very, very cool and very, very heroic. But there's also the opposite where it's like, while you're not full of yourself, but you realize that you have this important role that you have to fill.
It's like that argument.
It's like, this is the thing that I love about...
I mean, maybe it works for some heroes, but it doesn't work for Captain America. You can never have that.
Possibly.
You can literally never have that perspective.
I was
to
going
be
to say
Captain
it
America.
works for Superman because Superman is like...
It's shit, obviously. We know
you can
that.
suck a
That's fine,
dick.
but we're talking
You can
about
suck
real
a dick
superheroes like
because
Captain America
every
right now. So
superhero
let's stick
owes
to this
itself to
and
Superman,
not talk about
okay? Suck a
shit
dick.
like DC. How about
there's
that?
Been
We agree on
moments,
that? Cool.
There's
Let's
been
move
moments where he gives up his powers for selfish reasons, but then he gets them back because he realizes I have a role, I have to do this, I have to be in this world
to
as
be the
Superman.
most
Again,
boring hero out
shit
there.
hero. We're not talking about that.
Yeah,
We're talking about
to inspire
yeah,
other
we're talking
people
about-
to design heroes that
Yeah,
don't fucking suck.
You mean the symbol of hope? Sorry,
It's an
sorry,
S, bruv.
guys.
It's an
hope for
Now-
about 9-year-old
my
virgins.
world, it means
That's
hope.
the hope. That's hope.
I hate it so much.
Anyway, guys.
I think what you're trying to say is it's that thought experiment of like there's two people that are dying or something like poison or whatever. You've got one antidote. Do you save like the kid or the doctor who's going to go on to save like hundreds of people, right? And that's the thing of like, do you save the hero who's going to go on and save hundreds of people, or do you save the innocent one life? That's kind of the conundrum here. But because whoever is actually Cap, they're willing to. They would never sacrifice one life to save many. They'd always pick both.
Yeah.
You know, they'll save everyone, and if they die in the doing of that, that's just what happens.
But I tried. That was something that I had to do.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so in
She
that
goes
moment,
to kill him, man.
she goes to kill him. And just as she's about to pull the trigger, Sharon pops out of the corner, saves the day, busts a couple of caps, actually. Many caps in the Carly. Carly drops to the ground. Sam goes over there, holds her in her final moments. I'm sorry.
Really importantly, this is not Sharon saving Sam. This is Sharon tying up a loose end. There's two people that know she's the power broker.
Need to off this bitch right now. That's what I'm
Also, does Carly say I'm sorry?
Yes.
See, I didn't hear anything. I heard her. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I heard her going, the death thing. I thought it was like this moment of silence. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I should watch those stupid subtitles.
Yeah, I put subtitles on one time so I could read something I didn't hear properly, and I was like,
I hate
left
you. You
on.
won't watch subbed anime, but you'll watch English shows subbed.
Damn right. That's the way it's done. Anyway, she says, I'm sorry. And then Sam carries the body out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Very interesting moment here because obviously it shows compassion for even a person who was trying to kill loads of people. It's a human life after all that's just been extinguished. And also it looks bad because immediately some people are going to think, how did this person die? Was it you? Did you kill this person right here? But it doesn't matter because he's thinking about the life that's just been lost. Very cool, heroic moment, I felt like right there. Takes her out, flies out, and drops her down right where there's some like EMTs waiting, and there's a ton of press and a ton of people. Yeah. And the press immediately swarm him, and they're like asking, when did the government make you Captain America? Are you still Falcon? Or Captain Falcon? Which one are you? And
Captain Falcon, oh my God.
Sound terrible. Anyway, he goes over to the GRC politicians and says, okay, so are you guys still going ahead with the GRC relocation program? And they're like, yep, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. They only delayed us just a little bit. Don't worry about it.
So there is one thing here, which is he kind of starts with a bit of a speech.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we're still going ahead with it. And then he comes out and sort of speaks their language, which is she managed to do this. A teenage girl managed to get your entire security team on board.
Let me lay up the beginning part of this, and then you can go on to this episode. So basically, he goes, "It's like maybe you need to rethink what's going on because, like, clearly there's a lot of crap going on behind the scenes." Saying, "You keep calling them terrorists. You need to stop with all these labels: terrorists, refugees, thugs. What do you think they're calling you by doing everything you're doing to them?" And then goes into this thing here.
He lays it up, which is that a teenage girl managed to get like hard security on board. She managed to get into the most secure government building, the most powerful government on the earth, and do all this. Like, obviously people agree with her. He also says it in a really cool way. I like this a lot. He says, you guys right now have as much power as a mad god and a teenage girl. And that's like it's like such a
him
sick
talking about that
snub.
common struggle too of like there's the hierarchy of humans and countries and classes and races doesn't matter now that there's space aliens and gods that can wipe out half of the universe. You know what I mean? Like everyone's on an even playing field on Earth. You can't look at yourselves in a hierarchy anymore.
One of the things I admire as well is instead of it being like a common enemy of like Thanos, he's like, the world has a common enemy in this issue of like, what are we going to do that half of everybody disappeared and is now back? They're all in the wrong place. Countries that used to work before this don't work now. Countries that didn't work before it work now, but not now because everybody's back. Like, this is a common struggle for the entire planet. Let's unite around everybody being back. We didn't need an enemy. We can just be humans. And he's trying to like unite the planet, which is pretty cool.
And the world's seeing that, you know what I mean? It's being aired live on the news. You also see the perspective from other characters.
Isaiah Bradley.
Like John Walker really sees, that's what Captain America is. Bucky again, staring into it with pride. Torres and Carter, like they're all watching this moment.
I felt like
of Captain America really, representing people, individuals, and that's what Captain America was supposed to do, and that's what Captain America did. That's the whole development of Steve's character is like, from that figure that represents America in World War II to being like, oh right, I need to represent people and individuals. That's who I believe in, not a hierarchy, not a system that it's, as you see in Civil War, is like, it's people with agendas, and agendas change. The safest hands are still our own, and Sam is that representation.
There's one bit, if I could read out, if that's all right. Where he says right here, he goes, after he gives a little bit of explanation of what you guys should do, he's like, one of the politicians goes, you just don't understand. And he's like, dude, I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? Every time I pick this thing up, there are millions of people that are going to hate me for it. Even now, I can feel it, stares and judgment. and there's nothing I can do to change it. And I'm still here. No super soldier serum, no blonde hair, blue eyes. The only power I have is that we can do better. Yeah. That's such a heroic thing to say.
There's two things about this. So one,
and cuts to Isaiah Bradley too.
Right, it cuts to Isaiah Bradley watching that.
That was good.
And he doesn't immediately hate it. You know, he's like listening to Sam took all the best bits of his points and fit them into like being a hero, being an American, being a human on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So like
that human thing you keep saying is so good because that's what it is. It's uniting people as humans. Let's forget about everything else.
See people.
Exactly. Forget about everything else. Just unite as people on this planet.
That's the thing is I think when Bucky's watching this, what he's seeing Steve.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the issues in the last episode. He apologizes to Sam and says, Steve and I never thought what it would mean for a black guy to wear this stuff because they don't see stuff like that. Yeah. The closest they come to seeing color is seeing green because he's military, right? Yeah. And Sam and Steve both just see people as people, right? And I love the idea that Sam's whole
and you can't forget that Steve admired Sam as well.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just Sam admired Steve and Steve was just Steve's sidekick.
Yeah.
Steve really admired Sam. Look back at Avengers Endgame when everyone's disappeared. What work was Steve doing? He took inspiration from Sam and helping those coming back that were lost and getting that trauma from the snap. Like Steve took that role on that Sam did. Like Steve really admired Sam a lot and took Sam's role. So you see that. I was watching Endgame the other day and I just had that moment of like, Steve admires Sam as much as Sam admires Steve. So you've got to think of it that way as well.
I never realized that until you just said it, Tyler, that he took up the position that essentially Sam did when he... That's fucking cool. That's really good, actually.
From Steve's perspective, he meets this guy. Sorry, guys. There we go. Got it. He meets this dude who used to be a freaking badass and now spends his time helping people get through stuff, right? Their shared experiences. And the real difference between them, other than Steve being superhuman, is that Steve just has a longer career. Yeah. And he was fighting the Nazis. But other than that, right, like a very similar sort of track.
Yeah.
And then, this is the only guy Steve knows, and literally Hydra's out to get him. Right, the Nazis are back, and they have 3 helicarriers, and this guy he's known for all of like a few days, he's like, yo, I need help. And the guy's like, I'm down. So Captain America needs my help, I'm in. Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's a dude you gotta admire. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, he's totally down from the word go. And I, like you say, like the fact that he basically picks up as this in civilian life, he picks up from Sam, where Sam picks up in his life of service from Steve. It's very interesting. It's very cool. Yeah.
They're very linked characters. Yeah. Such linked characters.
Just after that really cool, slightly hair too long speech that he does right there, that inspires a lot of people around the world.
Great comedic timing.
He heads over to Bucky.
When he says, "You've got to do better, Senator," I'm like,
it's just
that was it. You had it. You should have cut it before.
I like the whole message. I'm gonna just pretend I didn't hear that last bit. Yeah. Anyway, he steps out like after a very big moment. He's like, I've just scored them all, and hopefully that gives them the feelings to change. Heads over to Bucky, and Bucky's just like, sorry, I was.
He has a good nod to Walker as well. He has a really good.
He nods to Walker. He does. He heads over to Bucky, and Bucky's like, sorry, I was texting. All I heard was black guy and stars and stripes. What was that?
Yeah,
it's really good comedic.
And then he goes, good job, Cap.
Yeah, nice job.
And then
Cap.
Pastor Shields like,
nice job, Cap.
That's the first time someone's called him Cap.
That's good.
And that was from Bucky, and that's the only person you need the endorsement from.
Exactly.
There's no
the guy in World War II said, let's hear it for Captain America.
Yeah.
The first man to call him Captain America in a non-ironic joke way where they're making fun of him.
Yeah.
The first person to ever say seriously a superhero,
good point.
a real hero, Captain America. That was Bucky in World War II. And then here in 2023 to Sam he goes, good job, Cap.
The only person that can crown you Captain
no greater
America
endorsement
is
than
Bucky.
Bucky's.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, Bucky is the man.
Facts.
To say Captain America first.
Yeah.
To both Steve and Sam.
That's really cool, actually. That's really cool.
It's also cool because like this line of like all I heard was black guy in Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly from him because we know this is a guy that doesn't really give a frick about the race to the point where he never even considered that being black was a factor, which it totally was.
Yeah.
And
which is also weird from a guy that was born in 1918.
That's one of the things that makes both
because you should be racist when you think about it.
He should be. And that's what makes Bucky and Steve so interesting. And I was actually thinking about this earlier today.
It makes him more of a hero, that even in the times where it was acceptable and it was like, you know, this is just the way it is, they're not.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and I don't know. I only really know Bucky and Steve from the movies. I'm just more of a cinematic guy.
Right.
But from their history, from the flashbacks, they seem to have been relatively poor growing up in Brooklyn, I want to say.
Yeah.
Which also historically had a large black community. And I choose to believe that when people in need come together, and poor communities tend to come together, and that they will have gone to church with black people because they're in a poor area, they would have got help and been helped.
Family that was like a community family,
right? Exactly,
had black people in it,
right? And their neighbors across the road were black, and when they needed help, they helped. And that's why I choose to believe about Bucky and Steve.
Yeah,
and that's why they don't really see it this way. They saw it as a common struggle even then.
I'd go as far as to say that Bucky probably had a black girlfriend back then, and no other woman up until Sarah was good enough, and then he met another Sarah. So there you go. Done right there.
True.
Anyway, once that happens, Sam has a quick conversation with Sharon. And she's shot, but she doesn't want to go to the hospital and whatnot. She's a badass, so no problem there. She's definitely not trying to hide from anything.
No, definitely not.
Sam goes though, just as she's about to leave. So don't worry, I didn't forget about our promise. And then she waltzes off right there.
One of the guys that said, I thought Captain America was on the moon, comes over and he's like, "Hey, Cap.
Hey, Cap.
Can you help us with the flag smash that's in the river?" Exactly. Which is also cool because now, like, just a regular Joe is calling him Cap.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear to everybody, including John Walker, that Sam's Captain America. Yeah. There's no question about it. He doesn't just look right. It feels right.
The mantle.
He's Captain America,
Yeah.
And it's cool that...
And we all know Steve gave him the shield. Like, we all know that. That's public knowledge.
Yes, we do. I also think that it's... What I love about the show is that at the end of Endgame, he gives Sam the shield, and you're like, is Sam Captain America? But through the show, we've got to see what Steve knew was there the whole time, which also goes to show like how great of a guy Steve was, that he knew this guy was this thing before even he knew it.
We then cut to the prisoners being transported once they've been arrested, those flag smashers. And just as he's about to be transported, just as they're about to be loaded in, one of the soldiers goes over and goes, "Hail Hydra." No, he doesn't. He goes, "Confirmed. One world, one people." And the guy's like, "Oh shit, okay, we're sorted then." The truck gets about 50 feet down the road. Boom, explosion. And you look over and there's an old man in a Rolls Royce. It's Alfred, guys. Batman's been the villain all along. Anyway, no, it's Zemo's servant,
Zemo's
butler.
Alfred,
And apparently, then we cut to Zemo at the raft, listening on the radio that all the flag smashers have been killed in a bombing that nobody knows who was responsible for, and he's all happy. He lays back in his bed and goes to sleep.
We're going to totally overlook this entire scene, by the way. We're not going to look into how this old guy got a bomb on the right place. We're not going to look into that at all, because the second you look at that, the whole show crumbles away.
I was going to say, the guy looks so old and frail. Like, do you remember the old Tomb Raider games?
Yeah.
How old and frail the old man was in that.
I'd say he surely just used money and bought his way into
that's definitely what happened. Clearly that soldier guy who was like, one world, one people, he paid that guy to say that and do
what
that.
Truck they would get into.
Anyway, we then cut to the next scene where it's Val who's being
but
super...
don't call me Val.
Exactly. She's being super weird. She's like, she's like, "Hey, Walker, get out of here." And then she's like, "Oh, look, the flag smashers have been killed. Oh, well, that saved Zemo finally got his way." It would have been interesting if I had planned that. Couldn't have planned that myself. Or did I? No, I didn't. But did I? Didn't I? Didn't.
Okay, question. Why are they in the room that the senators used to sentence people?
That didn't make any sense. I agree. That was fucking weird.
What the fuck is that
a weird
about?
setting choice.
It was poetic justice.
Do you know
where they stripped him of his title. They're giving him a new one.
Do you know what it was? It was
well, maybe here's the thing. I'm thinking there must have been a deleted scene where they were in the room giving him his title back, and then this is like the after scene of that.
I think it was just a really lazy cut, and the casting guys were like, we've got these 3 people that are in the same scenes together. What seasons are they in? Okay, there's one where he's dressed in his military blues, and there's one where he's dressed as US agent. Let's just film it all now.
I was gonna say the last time that we saw Val with them 2 characters was when after the hearing they were like,
in the same freaking room.
We're still in the same fucking building. Let's just record the next scene here.
Right.
Anyway, that happens, and he comes out, and he's wearing the exact same suit with a slightly darker blue. It's black. It's black.
It's black.
So
it's black and red. It actually looks really good.
It looked really nice. But it's like, hey, it's black, and he's just like, yeah, it's black. Am I supposed to be impressed? You just dyed one color. Anyway, she then gives him the name, the U.S. agent. It's like, okay, so that officially cements he's the U.S. agent. And he's very happy. He's like, yes, I'm back, baby, I'm back.
I 100% buy John Walker. I actually like him in every single scene in this whole episode. That rubs me the wrong way because we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And he's too buddy with Bucky and stuff, but I really like him in this scene.
He seems almost redeemed, but I have to see more of him because I don't understand the character right now.
That's something that bugs me, though. He does seem redeemed, except he did kill a guy and then lied about it to himself, to Lamar's family. Like,
I don't think he's fully. I think the fact that he's working with Val, it's questionable.
Yeah.
I think there's still some questions. I don't think he's fully redeemed. He's definitely somewhat redeemed, but I feel like there's some questions still, and that's what is going to be followed up with the next Captain America story. Is we're going to see John Walker again, and I'm curious as to see what's going to happen with him. Because I don't think he's a hero. I think he's a bit of an anti-hero here. He will become a thorn in the side of our heroes at times, but he'll also be able to help them at times. That's what I think his character's going to be.
And then in the next scene, we see Bucky, who's going to see Mr. Nakajima. Now, he leaves his book also in the same scene. There's another like bit cut in between where he leaves his book with the therapist, almost like he's completed the book. That's that. He goes to see Mr. Nakajima, and he just walks in and he bare bones explains what happens to his son. It's like, I killed your son as the Winter Soldier, but it wasn't me. I had no choice. And then goodbye.
And that's it.
Hated it.
That was really not the satisfying payoff that we wanted for this whole story.
I was hoping that this would be a brutal, crushing moment.
Right.
For us, for Bucky, for Nakajima, and at the end, he would walk past the thing and see that Nakajima had taking out on Bucky had given Nakajima the closure that he needed, and that was Bucky's reward. But in the doing of it, it should have been crushing for all of us. It should have been the worst thing. What
I needed was Mr. Nakajima in his frail state to go up to Bucky to start like pounding on him, like doing nothing, but like pounding him. Was like, you took him from me, like, you killed him, like breaking down at that moment. Get out of here. Right. He leaves, losing the one friend that he's really tried to make this whole time, and then walking past maybe the sushi bar, seeing that he did pick himself back up from it. Not, I killed your son. I didn't mean to. I was being forced. Right. And then cut to, and there was nothing. There was no reaction. We didn't get to see anything.
I would have liked to have seen it where he's saying like, you're lying. Why would you say this? You don't need to say this to me. And then Bucky continues and starts giving details and all the stuff that Nakajima needed to know.
Yeah.
And then, he gets confrontational and he continues and says all the stuff that needs to be said to like fix this, to like plug the hole in his heart that is what's missing, what was taken from his son's murder. And to say all the stuff, like, I would have also liked a line from Bucky where he's like, I was the Winter Soldier. I didn't have any choice, but it's still a burden that I have to carry. Yeah. Like not trying to say like it wasn't really me, but like at the end of the day, I did it and I can't ever make that right for you. But I know you needed the closure, that kind of thing. And then to have...
There was a lot that should have happened in that scene.
A lot.
But the thing was, the way that episode was edited at this point, it was just fast cutting between so many different characters doing so many different things. So if you had made it a long scene, it would have been jarring for this point of the episode. But at the same time, it still needed to be done the right way. Yeah. It just... But that's the whole thing of this whole episode was edited very poorly, in my opinion.
I agree. I think we could have cut half of that helicopter scene and half of that speech,
Yeah.
and put it all to this, and it would have paid off.
It's really sucky because now we're never going to get like a proper cathartic ending for him and whatnot.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, that happens, and Sam goes to visit Isaiah.
Yeah.
Goes up to the door. What you want, Black Falcon? It's like, you need to learn some manners. And it's like, damn right, you need to fucking learn some manners.
Again, this is the second black actor, person that's called him Black Falcon.
Yeah.
Also, that kid was black. I wonder if they're trying to make a statement with that.
I think they are, because the thing is that it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know if I should say this because people might take it the wrong way. I don't even know.
The show has explored race, and actually, I want to say that it's done it really well, in my opinion.
I was gonna say I feel like
well.
We've spoken about it enough for people to know exactly where my stance is on any sort of race matters, which is just you're a human being and I love you regardless until you're a dickhead and then I'll punch you in the face. But that's not because of your race; it's just because you're an idiot. Anyway, I feel like they were trying to also, while making a commentary to white people, to everyone who isn't black, they're also trying to make a commentary to black people as well, where it's like, I get it, we should be proud we're black, we should be a family because we're black, but don't hate other people because they're not black, or just because make black the most important thing. Where he's like, Black Falcon, he's like, no, I'm just Falcon. It's trying to make it like, I'm a person, just like that person over there and that person. I feel like it's also a commentary to black people as well.
Like the black community's trying to adopt him as their black hero.
Yes.
But actually, no, he's just a hero who's also black.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I think that's what they're trying to go for. Maybe I'm missing the mark, maybe I'm not, but anyway, I hope that came out okay and everyone understood where my, what my truth feelings are.
This is the real question.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants us to answer. You were talking about dickheads.
Yeah.
If you're a black dickhead, is the dick bigger?
I mean,
Anyway, moving on. Isaiah, they go back around Isaiah's gardening.
Tyler regrets coming on this show.
Isaiah's gardening.
Yes.
And I want to say, because we mentioned it,
Yeah.
because you were watching it finally, doing your notes just before we started.
Yeah.
As they're talking, Isaiah picks up this potted plant, like mini tree. Most people are going to ignore this scene. That thing weighs hundreds of kilos.
The guy just casually picks up this giant potted plant, potted tree, and just like pops it down while talking, and no breath changes at all. I'm like, fucking go for it, Isaiah. You're a fucking legend.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that ripped off the vibranium arm of the Winter Soldier, you know?
Exactly,
like,
cool guy.
I don't know, it was a little throwaway thing. It was such a subtle thing, like Bucky sleeping on the sofa.
Yeah.
Like not sleeping on the floor, that I just really appreciated it.
Yeah, they're having a conversation, and Isaiah almost gives him his blessing. He's like, "Yeah, I was wrong about you. You ain't." It's like
You're special.
You're special. You ain't no Malcolm. You ain't no Mandela. You know.
No, he says you ain't no Malcolm. You ain't no Martin.
Yeah, Martin. I think he says Mandela in there as well. He like names a couple of people. Anyway, he's like,
Yeah.
"You ain't no Martin. You ain't no Mandela," and it's like, "Okay, I get the point. I get the point."
Do you ever chill out?
Yeah, he says like, "Do you ever chill out?" Oh wait, no, he says he wants to go somewhere, right? He goes,
Yeah, let me get
So he says-
washed up. I want to take you somewhere.
just before he says that, he says a really cool line. He goes, "We built this country. We bled for it," as in like us black people and what. It's like, I'm not gonna let anyone tell me I can't fight for it. And there's like a moment where Isaiah like pauses, looks at him. And he
Shit,
sort of
I
has to
nearly bought that.
shit, I nearly bought that shit, man. I almost fell for it, you know? And he goes, "Man, do you ever lighten the hell up?" The kid's like, "Nope."
So the kid, I forget his name. The character's name. He's, I believe, in Young Justice.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget the name, but in the credits, it's like Preston Bradley or something like that. I forget. I don't know Young Justice.
Really?
Yes,
Interesting.
but that is whatever Bradley is the name of the kid that takes up the mantle of, I think, like the young version of Captain America in Young Justice. Which begs the question: if super soldier serum produces super soldier semen,
Right? And then he has super soldier babies.
exactly.
Ooh.
Like, because if you think, although the kid's not
So what do you know about good
bodyguarding
superheroes? Shut
him, like he might be bodyguarding him.
Might
Super
be.
semen. What do you think, Tyler?
No.
There you go. That's the...
No, I'm not having this conversation.
Anyway, he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to take you somewhere. Wash up so I can take you somewhere."
Yeah.
And Sam takes him to the Captain America Museum,
Yeah.
looking around at Captain America. And you know something that was quite cool, right?
Yeah, so I watched that last scene with you like 10 minutes before we started filming this. Isaiah Bradley, as he's walking around the Captain America like exhibit, he isn't jaded. Now, I think he's still jaded about everything that happened to him, but I like to think that as he's looking at Cap, he's thinking about all the things that made him a patriot, right? That made him what he bought into when he joined the military.
But also being out in the world for the first time.
Yeah,
really,
he's been out
a long time.
He's been inside for so long. But seeing Captain America, seeing Steve Rogers, and it's just like the line Sam said, like, Steve didn't put you behind bars.
Yeah.
And I think that Captain America was something that made a young Isaiah Bradley like patriotic and sign up and want to do his part.
Yeah.
And seeing that, it's like, don't get me wrong, everything the government of America did to him sucked.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to do with Captain America and Steve.
Yeah.
And that he does still admire Steve. And it's quite a cool moment if you just watch that last scene where he is just looking around and admiring Steve's legacy.
I agree. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
And then they turn the corner and he shows him an Isaiah Bradley exhibit that he's erected in his honor. And it's got him with like a bronze statue, a brass statue rather, and it's got Isaiah Bradley in the back. And I only just managed to read the first few of the lines. It was like one of the heroes forgotten, but not but not for good or something
says
like that.
Isaiah Bradley was, I did write it down somewhere, was one of 12 unknown African American soldiers that were given something without their consent. It's hard to read.
Yeah. Without
their consent or permission. They were experimented on by the government and in tests for the secret, the super soldier serum experiments.
Yeah.
And this is a monument to those 12 African American men who something
That's quite
for
cool.
the country. Yeah, it's hard to read, but it's cool.
It's quite cool that he got his moment. And he looks at him and he's like, I can't believe you you did without saying anything. It's like, I can't believe you did this. And he goes to hug Sam.
Yeah, Sam says, look, this country will never forget what you gave for it, or something like that. It's a great...
What you did for this country. Now they'll never forget what you did for this country.
Yeah.
It's actually super touching.
It's a really emotional scene.
Yeah.
Really well done. Scene. I loved it. One of my favorite parts of the episode.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And Isaiah sells it so hard. It's so good.
He does, right? The guy's a great actor. He's an old man, but he's a great actor. Yeah, and then we quickly hard cut to family barbecue time down in the south with all the family.
Yep,
We've got the shrimp on the barbecue. Tyler's feeling right at home right here. We've got some pies.
Sorry.
He's got some shrimp
Talking
on the barbie.
Pies,
yeah.
There is this one scene of Bucky just holding out his arm, chatting to Sarah with like 8 kids just hanging off it. So I think there's a cream pie in the future.
Oh no! Oh,
my
he said it.
God.
Oh God, guys.
Gonna get that Oreo stuff in, you know.
Oh no, that's something.
Look,
right
all
there.
I'm saying is, I think me and Bucky, we've got. It turns out there's a type that I didn't know about. I think if she grows out her afro, we're totally in.
Yeah.
You know?
Jesus Christ. That was a quite funny moment because when I saw it first time, because I watched it twice, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, Bucky's holding up 6 kids because he's got a vibranium arm. He's just trying to entertain kids. But the second time I watched it, Sarah is right there and they're talking while the kids are hanging. I like to imagine, even though we can't hear anything, it's like, I like to imagine it's like, yeah, I mean, I do this all the time. In fact, I bench tractors and stuff like that. So what are you doing Thursday?
It's a good thing they're by like a seafront in it, because I'm telling you, she's gushing. She's giving him the eyes, man. She's giving him the eyes.
Is this really happening right now?
Yes, it is.
Really
It's
what's
happening right now.
Yes, it is. Look, those are soon to be his adopted children.
Exactly.
She's soon to be his wife.
He's got to be
And
welcomed into the community.
We're going to finally answer the super soldier serum semen question.
Exactly. Finally. And in that moment, everything's going great. The music's getting high. Sam goes to the edge of the pier, looking off into the sunset. Bucky comes up behind him.
There's a weird focus shift here as well. It's odd.
It's very, very short, short distance, whatever it's going to be. It's an amazing moment. They're both happy. They're both sort of like there for each other. And then they turn off and everything ends right there. Great. Except there is a post-credit scene as well.
There is.
With Sharon.
Is first though.
Oh, but you're forgetting the point
sorry?
where when it cuts to credits, it says Captain America
that's true.
and the Winter
That's
Soldier.
true. And then it cuts and it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier as opposed to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What a great moment. It's amazing.
Also,
it's
shouldn't
official.
it be Captain America and the White Wolf or something?
White Panther, no White Wolf.
White Panther?
you live a couple years in
You White Panther?
couple years in Wakanda, now you White Panther, right? Anyway, then we cut to the post-credit scene, and it's Sharon at that same court hearing, whatever it is, with the government officials, and they basically give her a full pardon. They even go as far as to give her back her old job. How great is that, guys? This is perfect. Anyway, she's like, oh, that's all I've been hearing for. Thank you. I would be honored to come back to work for you guys. Thank you very much.
She leaves the building.
And immediately she just jumps on the phone. It's like, let all the buyers know, guys. I'm going to be able to get some high-grade shit. High-grade shit, you know what I'm saying?
Military secrets, like the nuke codes. Like, what the frick, Sharon? This doesn't make any sense.
It was really...
I hated it. Yeah. It makes sense for, like, the power broker thing, but I hate her as the power broker. She should have been working for the power broker to, like, make ends meet. I make her sound like a single mother trying to make, working 2 jobs. But come on. She's Sharon frickin' Carter. She's Peggy Carter's grand niece or something.
It's a very, very far.
It's a stretch.
Yeah. Anyway, how did you guys like this? Was this a fitting end? Was this good? Was this bad? Was this okay?
I don't like the Sharon Carter stuff. I just don't like.
Agreed.
I just don't think it's right for her character to be going down this road. It just doesn't feel right. I feel like we've missed a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe you can convince me. In Captain, like, there's a lot of loose ends.
We need to see those 5 years of her.
Need to be followed up with, in the next Captain America movie, right? That you've got U.S. Agent there, you've got stuff with Sam and Bucky, and you've got the stuff with Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
So for my money, there's a potential with some flashbacks to Sharon. You can convince me it makes sense she's the power broker in doing this, but right now I'm not convinced that.
I agree. I'm
her
definitely not
characters
convinced
jumped the
right
gun
now.
to this
It's
level.
tough, right? Because it went from a character that was just trying to survive to now I'm like the criminal underlord. It's
a character that gave up everything to support Captain America because what he was doing was right.
Yeah.
Who spent her whole life trying to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. because it was the right thing, and her family has this legacy of like being patriots and serving. So like, by the way, I'm the villain now.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a bit odd.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us for that, and thank you for writing in to places like our Patreon and our Discord server with your thoughts, because this is a show with all of us chatting together, and it's good to hear what you guys think as well. So I'm going to kick it over to patreon.com/conversations, where Javi wrote in, and you can also do the same thing by joining our Patreon. He goes and says, hey lads, how's it going? First off, I just want to say it's been a blast to join you for these shows. Streamcast was a really good idea, and I can't wait for the wild theories that arise from Loki when Loki drops. Spoilers, it's Hydra.
See, Javi knows what's up.
He knows what's up. It's actually the power broker, okay?
Wow. The Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker, my apologies. Yes, sorry. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you very much. On the episode, however, I must say I really did like it, but there were some serious problems with it. I'll start with the things like, obviously, Sam is a phenomenal Captain America and super happy with his development. I can't wait for Captain America 4. I love how they finished Sam and Bucky's relationship. It really seems like Bucky has finally found a family. I actually like the way they set up John Walker for the future, and I feel like they took a step back and made him not so evil. Zemo's ending was great. He really is my favorite character in the MCU at the moment. Do you think they might be setting up Thunderbolts or some other anti-hero/villain group? I definitely hope so. That's been the theory by a lot of people that's been going on.
Yeah, they for sure
are. Now the things I don't like. This is a small thing, but I need to say it. Why did they leave the ears free in the new Captain America suit? They did it both for John and Sam. He goes, it didn't look good for John. It doesn't look good for Sam. I didn't really mind it so much for Sam, to be honest.
No,
but it definitely looked out of place for John. I was like, that just looks weird.
I feel like with Sam, there's so much that you're looking at.
Yeah.
That to like take your attention away from the ears, but for John Walker, it's just like, also because it's very reminiscent.
It's also not a full helmet either for Sam, so it's not quite as giant.
Exactly.
And he goes for Sam. A big thing, however, was the power broker. Could they have made it more obvious? The way this ended with it was super predictable. Nevertheless, I'm interested in the prospect of Sharon becoming a villain. Whereas I'm not. I'm really not.
I hate her being a villain.
No, I'm really... they'll have to really sell it to us. Like Tyler said, like you need a lot of convincing to get there.
I feel like it was sort of obvious. Like we all said, if she isn't the power broker, she's working for her, right? So it's fairly obvious, but her actually being the villain, I don't like.
When we said her working for the power broker, is because it didn't seem right with her being the villain. And then they made her and was like, it still doesn't seem right. Anyway, he continues to go, I think they could have made Bucky's redemption scene with Mr. Nakajima different, as if he was going to say, I didn't have a choice, instead of, I was literally brainwashed by Hydra to become a killing machine and was forced to assassinate targets, therefore I didn't have a choice. I think that's over-explaining it, but the whole scene needed to be fledged out a little bit
I would have
more.
preferred, even if he said, like, I was working as this Winter Soldier, I didn't have a choice, but it's still my responsibility, like I'm still responsible for it, something like that, where he's like taking it on himself, something like that to help Bucky heal.
What's your this is my thing as well, because I've been seeing a lot of chatter online about like the ratings of the episodes. This is the lowest rated episode of the season. People are like, that's a bit sus, the episode Sam becomes Captain America. I'm like, I agree, there's definitely a level of sus, because it wasn't that bad that it should be as low rated as it is, but it's probably the worst episode in a lot of ways of the whole show. I'd still agree.
In terms
of the pacing and editing and the payoff of a lot of storylines,
and a lot of weird writing decisions.
There was a lot wrong with the episode. Don't get it twisted. It was just the most important things they nailed, and to be Sam being Captain America. So I think that's the most important thing. And I thought the John Walker stuff, to me, they nailed. Carly didn't nail. They didn't nail Bucky's ending, but him as a character throughout the whole episode, other than that, was really good. Yeah. And then Sharon stuff, and that twist was just a complete fail to me. And then even then, a lot of the fight scene editing and the structure of the editing for everyone was really fucked. So in a lot of ways, the episode was clunky as fuck.
It was definitely the worst edited.
Don't get it wrong that
for sure.
Yeah,
but some of these places
don't get it twisted that, like, it probably should be the lowest rated episode, but it is a bit sus how low.
It's
not
like
a lot of people.
It doesn't go
like
from a 100% rated episode.
It's not a 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
it's a
IGN rated it 5 out of 10.
I'd say
IGN
a 7. I'd say 7.5 out of 10.
I quote tweeted it, and it went a bit viral and whatnot. I was like, these are the guys that gave Cyberpunk 2077 the PS4 Game of the Year 3 months before the game came out. So don't listen to anything IGN says, okay? Just, you want to cut that shit out.
It was the worst episode from a lot of like perspectives, for sure. The Sharon stuff was awful. Carly as a villain, or like a tangential villain, or different thread being pulled on, was sucked. The big reveal and how it all came together, and in the end they're just like a few people stuck in a car and they set the car on fire. Like, a lot of that was a bit rough. The editing was atrocious, but the stuff that mattered was good. Sam's reveal as Cap, becoming Cap, like wearing the uniform, and the second you see him you're like, oh yeah, that's Captain America.
It was a fucking great suit as well.
Right.
A great suit.
Bucky overall done great, like, you know, so. But it's not a 5 out of 10. Get fucked. That's so stupid. It's a low. It's 6.5 out of thing, and mainly because of shitty editing and weird decision making from.
Okay, he also says, still, it was a really fun ride. I can't wait to see where Sam and Bucky go next. P.S. I realized I left out the whole Isaiah thing, and man, was that good. What a great emotional scene. Probably the best in the entire show. Thank you very much, Javi, for writing in there. Do you want to read one of the Discord comments, and then I'll come back to
Lex says, going to keep it short so there's less reading. That was some good shit. I love Sam, and in my opinion, he's better than Steve.
Ooh.
And I'm excited to see more of everyone that didn't die. What a good cast of characters. Amazing stuff. I don't know about better than Steve, but like also maybe they're different.
Definitely they're different.
Hey, look, as respect to both the characters, they're both great characters.
They're both great.
Give him more time.
They're kind of two sides to the same coin in a weird way. They're two sides to the same Captain America coin.
That's
how I would say.
Yes, agreed.
Steve is the arse side because he's Captain America's arse.
He's got America's arse, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Anthony Mackie with America's dick.
Exactly. There we go.
I mean, I think it's undeniable. I'm gonna ignore you. I think it's undeniable. With the, you know, Steve's right now. It's hard to say anyone's a better character than Steve, just purely because of the time spent and what Steve's done in the MCU. If you're just looking at the MCU, right?
He's got
It's still way
I mean, look at
CV,
Endgame.
yeah.
Look at the Thanos moments, the Avengers Assemble,
Picking up Mjolnir.
everything Steve's done as a
I'll never
character
come
in
so
the
hard in my
MCU.
life.
It's undeniable. But don't get it twisted. There's plenty of time for Sam as Captain America to create his own legacy.
Yeah.
So right now I feel like it's the beginning of something new, and I love Sam. He's my next favorite character next to Steve in the MCU.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of time for him to carve out his legacy. And maybe when we look back 10, 15 years from now, we can say, oh, wow, I actually feel Sam's character was way better and had way better payoff and way better moments. But we're a long way away from being able to say that.
I mean, he hasn't had the time in the show, on the screen, you know.
But it looks promising.
It
That's
does
the
look
only thing we can
promising.
say.
I think it's important to put it this way, which is that Steve is the old guard, right?
Yeah.
He literally was the guy that fought the Nazis, and Sam is the modern Captain America, right? Like
Agreed.
He's a 2020s Captain America, and Steve was always a post-Nazi to early 2000s Captain America.
Yeah.
It's a really good handing off of the shield,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting as well because not any other character can really do that. There's no like any comic book character that can do that. And
Maybe
this
Thor,
is,
but even that.
even then, it's hard
questionable.
because it's Thor. It's not a Norse god. It's is
Yeah.
it a Norse god? It's
Yeah.
Norse god. Norse god. Yeah, it's not a Norse god. It's Thor. So
Talking
it's like
of Norse gods,
yes.
Tyler, you love Valhalla. I'm fucking with you. I'm
No,
fucking
no,
with you.
let's not do that. Let's not do that.
I'm leaving.
James is replaying it again, and he just can't stop fucking tweeting about it. That bastard.
Oh, I want to fucking
needs help.
end him.
You're on the
Professional
fucking
help
podcast with
in a
him.
padded
Do
cell.
something. Do something.
Mate, I've tried
Next
many
comment.
times.
And the next comment is from The Snyder Cut is objectively the best comic book movie. I like this man's style already. He goes, for me, this show was absolutely incredible. It has easily become my favorite project in the MCU, closely behind Captain America Winter Soldier. It's been it's written perfectly, from the relationship between Bucky and Sam to themes of burdens and acceptance. By the way, we didn't get that gay theory come to fruition, which is really kind of sad, right?
Don't they live in Alabama though? Like, I swear we addressed this.
Oh yeah, we did. Sorry, we did.
It's
They
the
did
Bucky,
do that.
Sam, Sarah sandwich.
Yes, there you go. That's it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my apologies. Sam's character arc throughout the show was perfect, and it is exactly what I would have wanted for the show. You could really see Sam's struggle he had from giving up the shield and his journey to finally becoming Captain America. This was a huge testament to Anthony Mackie's acting. He truly was incredible here, and I'm so glad he was finally able to show his full acting abilities as Sam Wilson.
What a great leading man. God damn.
If only someone had said that at the beginning of the show. The rest of the cast were all fantastic as well, most notably Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Daniel Brohol, and Erin Kellyman. The last two I didn't know who they were, but I'm sure I'll come with it. There's so many there's so much imaginary I picked out of the show. Imagery. Sorry, I'm reading that completely wrong. I fucked up. I'm sorry, H-Bots. I'm sorry. I think that's H-Bots anyway, or Batfan 1 and 2. I picked out of the show that I could talk about for hours, but I'm sure you've covered a lot of it. However, I did want to mention one thing that I noticed straight away. John Walker's capsuit has no white on it. Sam's capsuit, which is absolutely incredible, by the way, is made up so much of white in the US flag. White represents... White represents freedom to me. This is the perfect imagery in the costume design, showing that John's cap doesn't represent freedom, whereas Sam's does. Finally, I want to say that Sam's final speech was absolutely incredible. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and the end of it, I fucking applauded. It was perfect. It was perfect. Not just a speech; it's a show. In the show, but out of real life. It was important and was very current with what's happening in today's society. That's all I have to say for now, though I could talk for hours on this show. Tyler, if you are on this show, as a fellow Captain America and Sam Wilson fan, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. Anyway, bros, I will look forward to hearing your thoughts on this episode. Sam Wilson is fucking Captain America. Yes!
Can I make one point on the white?
Go on.
I think the point of the white is the purity.
I think so.
It's more purity than freedom. Where if we look at the US agent uniform, it's a lot of the black, which rather than like good versus evil, it's more like Sam stands for doing the right thing because it's the right thing, and John Walker stands for getting the job done because the job needs to get done.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's all the comments from Patreon. Thank you very much there.
Tyler, you're not free yet. Get fucked. There's more comments on our Discord where you can write in over on Discord where it's in this link. You know thing.
Why are you guys on there? Go to our Discord. Stop
No one cares
writing
about
in
your
on theirs.
freaking Discord.
Let me
You're
just
not
have
even
a-
on it. When was the last time you saw one of the 4 pillars, one of the support beams? Right, you didn't. But come to ours. We hang.
What
out
are you
with all the
talking
time.
about? I'm
No
on my
one
Discord
cares.
every day.
Yeah, no one cares
Every
about you,
single day.
Tyler. No one cares. No one cares.
Juice
Look, I've just looked
says-
over there and Hamid's there. Who wants to be on a server with Hamid? Anyway.
Juice says, loved the episode and the whole series. The tone was just right, and I almost teared up at the ending with Isaiah Bradley. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very emotional. Obviously, they set up John as the US agent, but I think they might give him more of a redemption arc after. They definitely showed him trying to redeem himself in this episode. Only one thing I wasn't a fan of is the Sharon Carter ending. Big agree. Perhaps they are setting up Secret Invasion, like we discussed in the spoiler chat, where she's actually an alien imposter. Oh, like one of those.
Oh, like a scroll.
The scroll, yeah.
Ooh.
She did do that weird face changing thing, but that was tech.
Yeah, that thing did that as well. Black Widow did that. And
Stop making everyone a fucking scroll.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a cheap move for everything, right?
Yeah.
Fucking stop making everyone a goddamn
Fuck
scroll.
Yeah, Marvel would never resort to cheap moves for sure.
No.
Apart from that, great episode, amazing series, definitely in the top 10 MCU projects, maybe pushing top 5. I actually agree. I really like this show overall. The finale was a bit of a letdown, but man, what a good show. Do you want to take these?
I think if the finale was nailed, I'd agree with that. But
Yes.
it's in the top 10. I don't think top 5, though.
Yeah, I agree. Top 10, not top 5, because they flubbed the ending, just with weird editing and a couple of weird writing decisions, and the Sharon thing makes no freaking sense.
Yes. And just inherently being a show, there was a bit of extended bits that didn't need to be there, right?
Yeah.
It felt like it's some moments throughout the whole season, especially those early episodes, but like episode 4 and 5
Yeah,
were perfection.
So good.
Like
Oh my
those
God.
were. I mean, I think episode 5 was one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen.
I agree.
That 5th episode, the way it starts with that fight between Buck, Sam, and Walker, unreal. And then the way, it was a really great show.
good.
I'm so happy with how it turned out, even with the ending. Like, just it did everything it needed to do, and it's setting up. You know, it's not the end of these characters. It's made me love them, set up a bunch of story threads. Sam's Captain America, and here we are moving on to a Captain America 4. Captain America's still going, baby. We're still here. I'm so happy.
We can't kill it, guys. We can't kill it.
I'm so happy.
I think I'm
so
saltiest
relieved.
about.
But thank God, no more Henry Cavill Supermans, but we've got
How-
more Captain America, so it's good.
Such a
Thank
bastard.
God.
I'm actually with him.
The
Get
wounds
for
are
it.
still fresh.
I think I'm actually saltier about the Nakajima scene flubbing than Sharon. Even though I hated the Sharon ending.
You could
Bucky-
ignore it. You could ignore
I can
it.
ignore it.
But
Bucky
Nakajima.
needs that. And also because we know
And you
Sebastian
can
Stan
fix
has
the
the
Sharon
range.
stuff later.
Right, we can fix the Sharon scene later. But we know Bucky, we know Sebastian Stan has the range. Like that scene in Wakanda where he's...
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
goodness.
God,
Yeah.
so good. Like I knew he
They
was
just
good,
didn't
but
give
I
him
didn't
the
know he could
time.
act like that.
Yeah. Neither did I.
So that I'm salty about.
Yeah. This is gonna be the last comment from me, so we don't continue this episode for too long. It's going past 2 hours now.
Shit, there's a few and they're big.
I was gonna say, pick one more, then you can read that one. D says, "This episode was amazing, and it's probably up there with one of my favorite episodes of the series. Really, Falcon's new suit was fucking beautiful. I feel so happy when I saw my boy in that suit and hear him call himself Captain America instead of Falcon. Crying emoji. Walker's redemption was something I wasn't a fan of, to be honest, but it felt a bit random. But I guess that makes sense. It looks like they're going for the anti-hero route with him. Carly's death was pretty underwhelming, to be honest. She was also a fucking idiot, since blowing up hostages is only going to enrage the government and not make them listen to you. Sharon being the power broker was a bad twist, because it really makes no sense. You're coming with a lot of cons and then saying this is your favorite episode of the series. Makes no sense and feels out of character.
Just the Sam stuff's so good, it outweighs
so
the bad.
good.
It is great, and I didn't let it try and color my opinion too much. That's why I put it still at 7, 8 out of 10.
As cool as the suit is, and the fight with Carly and stuff, with the wings touchdown and stuff. Like, I think Sam and Isaiah is like just the
Great.
Oh my God, so good. And it rounds off, like, the show's been walking this really fine line of touching on the race thing, which is, almost impossible to get right, and I feel
very
like it
thin line.
nailed it.
Yeah.
And I love the closure.
Yeah. He goes, she's been on the run for 2 years. How is she already the power broker and as big as that has a big reputation? And knowing that she sent the text to Carly is so weird since it feels out of character. Glad that Bucky got his redemption. Ish. Isaiah got his happy ending, and that made me tear up. And Zemo got the last laugh, which was rather epic. Overall, pretty epic finale. Tons of good moments and some questionable ones. Solid 8 out of 10. Hashtag this is my cap. Thank you very much, Steve, for writing in there.
I'm going to read Igor's as the last one because he really didn't like this episode, and I feel like we should get some of that.
Okay, some negative energy in here. Good.
I want to shout out CAA56, Diogo, Superdan, and D, who did write in. I've read your comments. They're good, but I think Igor's made some good points here. This has been the worst episode, I'm not going to lie. The inconsistencies of Sharon somehow being the power broker after knowing Zemo from before Civil War and constantly being referred to as a he, because power broker was called a he multiple times, was so shit. I was actually mad because it made no sense. John's redemption was also stupid. I hate how they made us empathize with him constantly after he just murdered a man the other day. Sam's suit was awesome and the fights were amazing as always. Carly's arc has also been so dead. She's done like nothing noteworthy, and all she's done was
be a twat.
Yeah, I guess that's be a twat about the way she goes about her motives. I get why we're meant to feel for her, but the show shows it off in such a bad way, nearly making her unlikable. She keeps trying to fight Sam and keeps being a prick, and then we're meant to feel bad because she says sorry and Sam cares about her. The bits with Isaiah have been some of my favorite parts in the show. I love the statue at the end and the tribute was so wholesome. Also, am I the only one that wants an Isaiah show? I freaking called it as soon as we met him. I love the statue, blah, blah, blah. Not blah, blah, blah. I'm filling space.
I wouldn't be mad in Isaiah like a Disney Plus show one day.
I would love to see Isaiah fight the Winter Soldier in Vietnam or whatever that was. I want
that'd be cool.
Rip his arm off. Fucking great.
Right.
Not the pussy way the Dora Milaje did. Touch his arm and push a button. Pussy bitches.
I want to see him like rip a vibranium arm apart, and have to watch like full Winter Soldier Bucky be like, nope, man. Don't want none of this. Overall, I'm excited for more of Sam and Bucky, and the show's been good as a whole, but the finale disappointed me so much, and low-key made me mad. I half agree and I half disagree. The Sam stuff and the Isaiah stuff was so good. It almost makes up for it. But like the helicopter fight was too long and it cuts in weird ways. We didn't get any Bucky closure. That Nakajima scene was such a letdown.
Yeah, it really was.
Especially because you knew it was coming. It was like, this is going to happen.
He had some great payoff moments in the fight, like the doing the work, the helping the civilians, those little moments. There's a lot of little moments for Bucky, but that big payoff he missed out on at the end.
There were some in the last episode as well. Bucky had some little moments like waking up on the sofa to laughter in the sunshine, as opposed to like dark lit on the floor.
I bet you it was something dumb, like some writer somewhere or something was sort of trying to say, it's like, no, if we give Bucky too much of like this good feeling or this limelight and whatnot, it's going to distract from what we're trying to set up here, which is Captain America. It's like,
as if it was
no one's going to be like, oh no, what's happening over here? Oh, Captain America, no problem. Let me just have a look at Bucky over here.
The thing is as well, because Sam's whole becoming Captain America is such an uplifting thing that I feel like Bucky having that soul crushing emotional closure response would have been it would have rounded out the show, would have rounded out both their arcs. Sam's arc was always up and Bucky's needed to come down into being human again.
You hear that, Marvel writers? It would have been fine.
It would have been great.
Anyway, guys, thank you everybody for writing in. Thank you, Tyler, for joining us for the finale of this fantastic show right here. It's a pleasure to have you again and pleasure to talk shit about you to your face this time rather than behind your back. Thank you, Sheps, for joining me for another episode of Streamcast. We'll see everybody next week for episode 1 and 2 of The Witcher. I'll be posting the topics thread a little bit earlier than normal because now we can move our recording schedules to a more convenient time.
We can.
And not 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 for us. And yeah, we'll get on with
Man,
that.
I wish you could have done that with me. Jesus.
Oh, no one cares. Shut the fuck up, Tyler.
Anyway, again, thank you, Tyler, for coming on
Yeah,
here.
we
It's
love
been
you,
really awesome.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Like 4 of these 7 episodes we've done for Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like I've loved it. And, you know, you guys all know how much I love Cap and this universe. So glad that I've got to be a part of it and a part of the show. I've had so much fun chatting shit with you guys.
Yeah, these are my favorite episodes.
Appreciate it. And as well, like while going through, just shout out to you both. Well, I've gone through fucking life events. You know, been able to chat to you boys before and after the show and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I love you guys and I love what you guys do. So excited to continue to watch the show and not have to get up at 5 a.m. to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we love you, you know, always.
We
We're
do.
great
And
friends
these are the best
whatnot.
episodes with you, Tyler, because I get to speak to someone that knows what the frick they're talking about.
1 second.
Has good taste in
Yeah,
heroes.
exactly.
So, guys, I'm thinking about getting a
you.
Superman tattoo across my chest.
I've punched people for
I'm
less.
okay with honestly. I'm okay with
Across
that.
it?
Idiots do what idiots do. You know what I mean?
Is it,
Like,
just,
it's
is it a target for the guys to finish on?
Yeah, well, it's more just like it's like when like you know a person
It's an
falls
S
into
for
a tiger,
semen.
the tiger kills him. It's like, oh, you mean a tiger doing tiger shit? Oh, an idiot doing
Oh,
idiot
fucking,
shit.
Right. On
Something
my
like
world,
that.
it
You
means
can't get
hope.
mad
On
at
this
the
world, it
tiger.
means
I'm not gonna get
freaking
mad at
bukake.
you. You know what I mean? It's yeah.
Thank you
Remember
for being
Harambe
so-
and they shot the gorilla? It's like, oh, you mean a gorilla doing gorilla shit? And you're gonna kill it for
Thank
that?
you for being so
Idiot doing
supportive,
idiot shit.
guys.
I'm not
Thank
gonna
you.
get mad at you. I'm not gonna kill you for that. I'm fine with it.
Thank you for being so supportive, guys. Anyway, we'll catch you all in the next episode, guys. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes.
See you later, boys.
You got wrecked.
This is great. No, I fucking loved it, man. I fucking loved it.